Sometimes when I walk into my office, I get the feeling that I'm walking among the ruins of a lost civilization. Not because of the reigning disorder, but because it feels like the remains of the civilized person I used to be.
Where is the damn detective? I'm gonna rip his head off. I swear I'll tear his eyes out. Hey! Hand over the pictures, you bastard. Now! Otherwise, you're gonna be dead meat. Hear me, cat?
What kind of pictures are you looking for exactly?
You know which ones. Me and a lady. 2 days ago.
Ah. Curious, are you? Plenty of things you could learn through.
I'm gonna kill you! Give me the goddamn pictures!
It wasn't the first time I regretted hitting a guy like him. But at least I bought enough time to aim at his soft spots.
Oh man, you broke my jaw!
Well, now it matches your marriage.
If you show my wife those pictures, I'm dead meat.
Sure, the gun didn't work, so why not shed some tears?
I wasn't gonna use it, man. I've never shot a fly. And I'm no two-timer either. It only happened once, for God's sake. I'm just her bodyguard, that's all. She seduced me. I love my wife, honest to God. I even quit the damn job for her.
Look, you protect that girl, and I spy on people like you. We all have to be professional, no matter how sick it makes us at times.
Okay, how about this? You give me those pictures, and tell her a white lie, and I pay you 10 times what she's offering. You save my family, and you make a pretty penny. What do you say? Deal?
For as long as I could remember, I had collected nothing more than bad gigs, debt, and sorrow. While I hated his offer, it could certainly help me start anew. Run some ads in the papers, get better clients. All right. I'll tell your wife you're clean. Get the hell out of here before I regret it, pal. 3.
Thank God!
2.
Put that money to good use.
1.
You won't regret helping out Eugene Colbert. I promise you that.
My uninvited guest had left me several gifts. First of all, a swollen hand. That guy's skin was hard as a rock. Second of all, more money than I deserved. Third, the feeling that my moral compass wasn't quite as calibrated as I thought. Last but not least, the certainty that more gifts were yet to come.
You see what I said about my pal Blacksad? Doesn't even know you, and he's already offering you a seat.
Yes, Jake's right, of course. That's me to a T. Please, have a seat.
Shut up and listen, buddy. All right? I brought you a client.
And that's why we need to find him soon, or we will have a very serious problem.
Thanks for the information and the picture. They'll really come in handy. Let me see if I have this straight. Your father, Joe Dunn, boxing manager and gym owner, hanged himself 2 days ago.
Yes.
Bobby Yale, a boxer at Dunn's gym, has a crucial fight against the reigning champion in 2 weeks. But he disappeared 2 days ago, right about the same time your father died.
Yes.
In short, if Bobby Yale is a no-show for his fight, you'll have to pay a fine. But since you don't have the cash on hand, your father's gym would have to close.
Yes.
So you want me to find Bobby Yale?
Yes. No. Jake wants you to find Bobby.
Oh, I see. Well, first of all, your father took his life the same day his pupil disappeared. Sorry, but something just doesn't add up. Apartment and found nothing, but I'll search it myself at some point. That cleaning lady, Mary, Purnell, the one who found Joe Dunn's body, she works part-time at Sam's Diner, just down the road on the left, right?
That's right.
I think I might pay her a visit as well. And the gym, of course, and see what I can find. Okay, I think I've got enough to start with for now. I hope that wasn't a client. Although probability would suggest a cold call. Or, even worse, the War Veterans Therapy Group. I never understood why I had to be born in New York. But the real issue is why I'm still here. It's too soon to say goodbye.
Hello?
Hi, Ray.
Hi. Who are you?
Take a guess. I already gave you a clue. Maybe I know your name because we're family.
No way. My dad never calls me. My grandpa never calls me. My uncle never calls. Well, he does sometimes. You're Uncle John. Uncle John, I guessed it. Mom, it's Uncle John. I guessed it.
You got me, Ray. Congrats.
What did I win?
What do you want?
I want a gun. Bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang.
Good guys don't carry guns, Ray. You know why? Because they always end up shooting someone.
Yeah, that's why they're so cool. Oops, Mom's coming. Bye, Uncle John.
Ray, is that the way you say goodbye to your uncle?
Oops. Love you, Uncle John.
Now go put on your jacket. We're late.
Bang, bang, bang.
What a surprise. How are you?
Everything's fine. Don't you worry about me.
I do worry about you. Especially when you tell me not to.
Yeah, can't argue with that.
Hey, we're kind of in a hurry. I'm really sorry.
Sure. One last thing. Love you, sis.
And I love you, little brother. Okay, now I really have to go. Bye, John.
Bye, Uncle John. Bang, bang, bang.
Hello?
Blacksad here. You have nothing to worry about, Mrs. Colbert. Do me a favor and enjoy your family.
Oh, thank God. Thank you, Mr. Blacksad.
Here's a tip for aspiring detectives. Pretend that booze is an issue. Clients love stereotypes. The truth? I use tequila to clean my lockpicks. In fact, I just finished cleaning them when that rhino walked in. Maybe we knocked him down during the fight. Most detectives feel safe with a gun in their pocket. Me, I prefer lockpicks. At least I know these little fellows won't backfire. Looking back, I wish I'd never found my lockpicks. Maybe I wouldn't have gone back to the gym. All hell was about to break loose. Robert Yale's place was on the way, so I decided to drop by, lockpicks in hand. The gym could wait. Sonia and Jake had already searched the place, to no avail. But a good detective would have better luck. I know it might not seem like it, but... When someone hits you like that, you know you're onto something. It's only fair to show some gratitude.
Well, well, well. Long time no see. My wife just called me. I owe you one. Now leave before my partner...
Damn cat. Well done, Colbert. Now. How about this? For every wrong answer, I'm gonna give it to you with this club. Deal?
Calm down, will you? Revenge is a dish best served...
Wrong answer. First, well, second question.
A shamrock? Is he Irish?
What the hell are you doing here?
Are you of Irish descent?
I've got an Irish boss, just like my friend Colbert here. I'm sure the name O'Leary rings a bell, right?
Desmond O'Leary. If you live in New York City, you've certainly heard of the richest bookie in town. After everything that's happened, I was beginning to feel like this case was finally moving forward.
Wrong answer!
But I was wrong.
Seriously, what the hell are you doing here?
I know your friend Colbert, and his wife.
All right. Now it's your turn. I'll call the boss.
I want you to yell like I'm beating the crap out of you, okay?
Desmond, we caught some damn detective snooping around Bobby Yale's place. Yeah, hired by Dunn's daughter. Safe and sound? What do you mean, exactly? sure. Will do. Colbert, stop hitting him, you beast.
What a shame. We were just getting to know each other. What leads a man to do something like this? Life's already dealt me a fair share of blows, but... I don't know why. Something just doesn't add up. The racist brain is so full of hatred that there's no space for trifles such as common sense or, say, spelling. But this most cultured writer spotted the error and attempted to correct it, not sure what to make of the outcome. Damn. I'd forgotten that Jake used to work for Natalia. This proves I was right. It's too soon to move on.
What the hell? Hey, Jake, give me one good reason not to smash in your face. What the hell are you doing in my locker?
I'm a detective. That's what I do.
Yeah, and my friend too. But that's what I thought.
Off me.
Sometimes, John, I could just punch you.
Smells like paint. On the surface, it seems dry, but there's no dust, and it's damp underneath. It could have fallen the day Dunn died. Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you.
John Blacksad, Private Eye. Would you mind if I ask you a couple of questions? Were you here on Sunday afternoon?
Yes, indeed, kind prince. I came down to watch TV after having run the New York City Marathon in record time.
Pleasure to meet you, sir.
Well, just like life, that was short. But then again, all things short fit me like a sock. It just so happens that you can, apple of my eye, do this old man a favor and bring him some sustenance.
All right. Mary Purnell, the person who found Dunn's body, works a block away from the gym. I'm certain she can give me the kind of information that
Hey! Watch where you're going, you jerk!
You looking for trouble, moron?
You better watch it.
Go to hell, man! You better not show your face around here.
Ah.
And there you go. We'll miss you at Sam's Diner. Come back soon. Welcome to Sam's Diner. What can I get for you?
Blacksad, private eye. I work for Sonia Dunn. I need to ask you some questions about Joe Dunn.
Sure, but I'm working right now.
Please, I need to find Bobby Yale as soon as possible. And I think you can help me.
All right.
What kind of boss was Joe Dunn?
A good one. Always paid on time, never raised his voice. If I asked for the day off, he even cleaned the gym.
How was Joe Dunn outside the gym?
I wouldn't know. I only saw him at the gym or right there. That was his spot. I think everyone liked him.
Can you tell me how you found Dunn's body?
Well, I thought I was alone. I clean early in the morning before Mr. Dunn comes in.
Oh, so you have keys to the gym.
Yes, of course. There was paint on the floor, so I thought it'd be a busy morning. And then I saw him. Hanging there, like a baby mobile over a crib. Then I think I panicked. When I calmed down, I called the police and waited outside. Sorry, that's all I can say.
Don't worry. But if you remember anything else, let me know. Thanks, but I still don't get why he'd commit suicide. I heard his relationship with his daughter wasn't ideal.
Oh, really? Poor man. I don't have kids, but that has to be really hard.
What can you tell me about Sonia Dunn?
I barely know her, but she looks like a smart girl, poor thing.
What do you think about Jake Ostiambi?
Who? Who's that?
A big gorilla. Boxer, too. A friend of Joe Dunn's.
Oh, yeah. I barely know him. I don't like how he looks at me.
Any ideas where Bobby Yale could be?
How am I supposed to know? He's rarely there when I clean the gym. Bobby seems like a nice kid, but I barely know him.
Other than the diner and the gym, you don't work anywhere else, right?
I wouldn't have the time, although I'm not sure I want to continue working at the gym.
It might be best to stay away from the gym, at least for a while, for your own well-being. In due time, things might change.
Joey used to say the same thing. Maybe. I don't know. Thanks.
Can I have a hamburger, please?
Mm-hmm. You want fries? A drink?
No, that's it.
Okay. Is that for here or to go, then?
To go, please.
One burger to go, Sam.
Okay.
Smells like cinnamon. No, cinnamon and burgers. They look puffy and tired. Sleepless nights, hectic days, or has she been crying? Perhaps all of the above. Her handwriting is nice and neat.
Your burger is ready.
All right, I'll let you enjoy your meal.
4 people used the back door that very same night.
What?
Well, I might be blind as a bat, but as you can certainly see, I have 2 wonderfully functional ears. Very kind of you. Shame it didn't have any cheese, though.
4 people used the back door 2 days ago? Who was the first person to use the back door?
Someone big unlocked the door, stepped inside, then came right back out.
Who was the second person to use the back door?
A man, just a few minutes after the first person. He came back out muttering, "Ungrateful bastard." Then he threw something in the trash and walked back in. Oh, no, wait. Before that, he gave me a coin. A coin? I mean, do I look like I need spare change, huh? I mean, I'm staying at the million-star hotel, for God's sake.
Who was the third person to use the back door?
Judging by the quiet footsteps, I'd say it was someone small. I'd say it was about 30 minutes after the second person came out. Whoever it was threw something in the trash and stood in front of me for a moment. Then I heard a click. And finally, I heard trailing laughter in that direction.
Who was the fourth person to use the back door?
Someone big. I recall heavy breathing. The person left in a hurry, running in that direction.
You were acting a bit strange before, but now you seem fine. Why is that?
Hey, you got great vision, sense of smell, hearing. Why is that?
Well, I'm a cat.
Well, I'm a goat.
There's a chest expander in your cart.
A what expander?
A thingamajig with 3 springs.
Oh, the thingamajig with springs. Oh, I got it from the trash, back there.
That's all for now. Thanks. Well, I know this much. The chest expander in the trash belongs to Yale. Why do you have that pen, Jake? What mess are you in? Arthur Tucker painted the racial slur on Yale's locker.
Smirnoff.
You're gonna like what I have to tell you about the Dunn case. I went to Yale's place and ran into O'Leary's men. They were waiting for him.
Yeah, well, it's only normal. They run an illegal gambling operation. If a fight's canceled, they lose money. I'd love to take a swing at O'Leary, but we can't base the case on a hunch.
I'm not finished yet. A close friend of Dunn's works for O'Leary.
You mean that gorilla? Your ex's bodyguard? We know. O'Leary is a respectable citizen, until we prove otherwise. So there's nothing wrong with him hiring a bodyguard.
I found racial slurs painted on the lockers at Dunn's gym. He was pretty open-minded about racial issues. Maybe his death had something to do with that.
John, half of the crimes in this city have racial ramifications, unless you have solid proof that it wasn't suicide. My hands are tied.
I think that's it. Okay, Jake.
I told you.
Desmond O'Leary.
Huh?
I know you work for him.
Now you're just making stuff up. Why would you say that?
O'Leary's men told me a while ago.
Okay, let's say you're right. So what? What are you gonna do, huh?
We're pals. I won't do a thing. But please, tell me the truth.
Okay, I guess I should have said something. Business isn't going that well lately. Natalia was my last well-paying job, and it's been a while. Then O'Leary shows up and offers me a bodyguard contract. What was I supposed to do?
Yeah, I understand.
Seriously, you don't seem like the type to accept shady offers.
I've done things like that, and worse, but I'm not proud of them.
Hey, O'Leary might run an illegal gambling operation, but it's not like he's killing people or conning widows. And I'm just a bodyguard. I make sure no one gets hurt. What I do, including my contract, paycheck, is 100% legal. How bad can that be?
Yeah, you're right. The fact that his business is illegal doesn't turn you into a criminal. We're only accountable for our own actions. But that's not what bothers me. I know you're covering up O'Leary's role in Joe Dunn's death.
Huh? O'Leary? No way. I mean, I don't think so.
Jake, please.
Well, I guess there's no point in hiding it now. I was here the day Dunn died.
Go on.
I had to take care of some business for O'Leary. He makes me wear the shamrock when I work for him. As you know, I left the damn thing in my locker.
Say no more. You came in the back door.
How did you... Yeah, that's it. Joe had mentioned he'd been painting that afternoon, but I forgot. I stopped in my tracks when I saw him screaming bloody murder at Bobby Yale at the top of the scaffold.
What exactly was he saying?
Something like, if you do that, I'll call off the fight and make sure you never set foot in this gym again. I didn't want them to see me, so I left.
Jake, why didn't you tell me?
I thought you'd be pissed off.
Well, you were wrong.
I'm sorry, John. I should have said something.
You should have. Let's just say you owe me one, all right?
You sure drive a hard bargain, John. All right.
Time to go. I need to think about everything you just told me. Miss Dunn, can I run a couple of questions by you?
If they'll help you find Yale, go ahead.
Big, bright eyes. Looks well rested. Either she didn't mourn her father, or she really knows how to work that makeup. Nice and steady heartbeat. What's in those papers you're going through?
Red tape.
Great. If you find something, please let me know.
I thought you were the detective. You do your job, and I'll do mine.
Did you and your father get along?
Let's just say our relationship got better when I left for Sunny University. An 8-hour drive from here.
Meaning?
I'll lay it out for you, Mr. Blacksad. My father, Joe Dunn, disappeared the day my mother died. He became a shell of himself. Joe Dunn, my legal guardian. A man who gave me food, shelter, clothing, and an education. And that's more than you need to know.
Did you get along with Bobby Yale?
I wouldn't give a damn about him if it weren't for this stupid gym his stupid fight is supposed to save. Happy?
What can you tell me about Jake?
I thought you were friends. Guess I was wrong. He and my father were friends, so don't go down that road.
What do you think about Mary, the cleaning lady?
Can't say. I barely know her. And I'm not one who's quick to judge other people.
What the?
What's wrong?
Someone's taking pictures from the rooftop.
Are you sure?
I'll go take a look.
Now, who's that rope for, Miss Dunn?
Weekly. What the hell are you doing here?
Hey, look! Isn't that Cassidy?
Don't change the subject, you sad little...
Why don't we settle this over ice cream, huh, John? Just like in the good old days.
How did you get up here? I don't want anyone to see you. Everyone, even the most hapless of creatures, has a gift. Something that makes them special, that makes them worth knowing. Foul-smelling Weekly is no exception. No matter what he does, it's impossible to stay mad at him for too long.
This bourbon shake is delicious. Want a taste?
You know I don't like milk.
Your loss. So, Joe Dunn hangs himself and leaves his gem to his daughter.
I don't think Dunn killed himself.
What? Do you have a suspect? Any leads?
No, it's just a hunch. Although... well, it doesn't really matter. It's just a hunch. I wouldn't bet my life on it. I've got other suspects, like O'Leary, the bookmaker.
Desmond O'Leary? The same O'Leary who used to date Helen Moore? America's sweetheart? Now that's a woman.
And then there's the walrus. Who was that guy?
Come on. You've never heard of Frank Cassidy? The president of the Boxing Managers Association?
Who's also Stone's agent, Bobby Yale's rival.
Hey, he might have a motive, right? He might know something about Dunn's death, right?
I decided to ask Weekly to investigate Cassidy. My reasons? Weekly was right. Cassidy could have had a motive to kill Dunn. Weekly had already proven to be nosy. The farther I kept him from the gym, the better. But with Weekly, you just never know what the best approach might be. Yeah, you might be right about Cassidy. But, it won't be easy to make him talk. He seems like a pretty tough cookie. Only a thorough and efficient detective could pull it off. But the problem is, I already got enough on my plate.
You're a lucky man, John Blacksad.
I don't follow.
You just found the thorough detective you need.
Oh, of course. What a great idea. How did I not think of you?
Hey, don't sweat it. But you'll have to do me a favor. Tell Sonia Dunn that a legendary journalist from What's News wants an interview.
Weekly, please.
Well, if not, bye-bye, Cassidy.
You know, there's a third option. What if I tell Sonia to sue you for spying on her?
You wouldn't.
Try me.
Okay, you win.
So, was there really someone on the roof?
Yeah, but he was faster than me. I couldn't get my hands on him.
A fast spy and a slow detective. This must be my lucky day.
Dunn kept files on the gym's staff and clients. Name, address, and date of birth. I saw you arguing with a guy named Cassidy. What did he want?
Remember the fight that needs to take place in order to save this gym?
Well, Cassidy manages Yale's rival, Stone, the reigning champion.
If Bobby doesn't show up, he'll lose money. Maybe not a lot, but enough to care.
Did you find anything interesting in those papers?
No. Investigation work takes time, as I'm sure you know.
I'd like to take a look inside that safe now. Could you give me the combination?
I'd love to help you, but my mother's birthday used to be the combination, but I already tried it. Thank you, Mr. Blacksad.
Does the postman always leave your mail on the floor?
I don't know,
What's wrong?
It's my mother's wedding ring.
Who had it?
I don't know. My father wore it on his pinky finger after she died.
Not always, apparently.
Will you find out why?
I'll try. But there's something else I'm worried about. This might have something to do with your father's death.
Oh my, yes. It could be. Will you please give me a moment?
Of course. Were Mary Purnell and Joe Dunn an item? Okay. Mary put the wedding ring in the envelope and wrote Sonia Dunn on it. But why did she have the ring in the first place? What if Mary's birthday is the combination to the safe?
Yes?
Feeling any better?
Yeah, I guess. Thanks.
And there it was, Mary's birthday, a week prior to that very day.
you opened the safe?
Yeah, and I think you need to see this.
All right. I think this might be useful for the investigation, Mr. Detective. He left everything to me, except some boxing trophies and knickknacks that'll go to Bobby Yale.
Do you think Bobby Yale read it before he disappeared?
Maybe.
When was it signed?
It was written 4 years ago, just weeks after I moved to Buffalo.
Thanks. That's it for now. I know you're hiding something. Happy birthday. I just found out it was a week ago.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome. I'm sure you received wonderful presents. For example, your date of birth used as the combination for Dunn's safe.
Oh, my goodness. I can't talk here. My shift is over in 10 minutes. Can you wait a while?
Can I get a refill over here, Mary?
Coming right up.
Mary Purnell, the angel Joe Dunn found in his golden years.
We'd been seeing each other for almost 2 years. It all started with, well, weekdays I start cleaning the gym at dawn, before my shift at the diner. Joey always came in early, just a little after I got there. He used to say it was the best time for the worst task of the day.
Say no more. Paperwork.
He really hated it. One morning, he saw me crying. I was having a rough day and...
He tried to make you smile.
He pointed at the coffee machine. You need a cup of joe and some fresh air. That was the first of many cups on the rooftop.
Which is where Dunn seduced you.
That word is a bit too much, Mr. Blacksad. You might be too young to understand this, but real love has little to do with seduction. One day, we realized those rooftop coffees were the best part of our day. So we began to spend more time together.
But you never told me. Why did you keep it secret?
For Sonia's sake. She and Joey drifted apart after her mother's death. He was afraid that our relationship would only make matters worse. Until one day, on the rooftop, we realized just how serious our relationship was. And we decided to turn those moments into a lifetime.
So he asked you to marry him?
Yes, of course. He gave me the wedding ring and we decided to tell the world. He said he needed to share that happiness with his little girl.
What about you? How did you feel about telling Sonia?
Maybe you already noticed, I have a slight cold. I lost my scarf a while back, not sure where. And now, if you'll excuse me, that's my bus stop. A pleasure to speak with you, Mr. Blacksad.
Smirnoff.
Dunn and the gym's cleaning lady were about to get married.
Great. Call What's News. They'll know what to do with such an incredibly interesting piece of information.
The combination on Dunn's safe was her birthday. He even gave her a ring. You know, your typical suicidal bliss.
Okay, I'm still not convinced, but I might have something for you.
Life is often off key, like a bad song. The notes come together but feel flat, unable to create anything resembling music. And yet, there are ways to string them together to create harmony. ways that are not always entirely in our hands.
You look tired, John.
I was born tired. I'm used to it.
You're not the only one. Yep, I'm beat. I'm starving. Just got back from the annual police medical. Not only did I have to fast, but I also had to chug 2 enormous glasses of water.
You drank 2 huge glasses of water. How are your kidneys coping with that?
Yeah, you're right. Maybe I should go to the... If you'll excuse me. Now I feel even thinner. So do my kidneys. Truth is, John, it all seemed clear to me before, but now... Please, promise me you won't take the law into your own hands.
Sure, you can trust me. I give you my word.
All right. In any case, keep me posted, will you?
Sure, you can count on it.
Take care, John.
As always, Smirnoff had given me new, potentially relevant information. Not to mention second thoughts. When an old dog like him gets that serious, one must be prepared to bite.
Just turned off the grill. You all got about 25 seconds to order your last burger before it goes cold, you bastards! Hey, if it isn't Mr. Don't Mess With Me, get out of my restaurant! And don't come back unless you want a facelift! No one messes with good old Sam, little kitty!
You see this fist? I used it to knock down a rhinoceros today. But you know what? I've got another one right here, and it's jealous of its twin.
Okay, just kidding. Relax. What about a free burger?
I have to admit, I was hoping to get something in return for that first hamburger. But now I don't really know why I brought this. The cynics would say I did it all out of selfishness, just to feel better about myself. Who cares? I don't know why. Something just doesn't add up. I'm much taller than Dunn, and I can barely reach the noose. There's no way Dunn hanged himself. Not on his own, at least. Bobby Yale. I don't know if you had a motive to kill Dunn, but you certainly had the murder weapon. Christ. Did Yale kill Dunn just because he wanted to call off the fight?
I always knew Bobby had issues. But I never thought he'd go that far.
Everything seems to point in that direction. I'm certain of it.
But he could have been framed, couldn't he? In any case, that doesn't change a thing.
It does, actually. Now we know he didn't kill himself.
My father's still dead, and you still haven't found Bobby Yale. Nothing has changed. Opening the safe and finding my father's will won't help us achieve anything. So please hurry. Time's wasting.
Sonia's indifference never ceased to amaze me. But most importantly, why was she suddenly defending Yale?
John Blacksad? I think I owe you an apology.
Apology accepted. But what exactly are you apologizing for?
Listen, I don't think my fellow workers treated you with the respect you deserve. I'm so sorry they wrinkled your suit. The thing is, they didn't know we shared a common goal. Bobby Yale. I want to find him and get to the bottom of this as much as you do, Mr. Blacksad. So please, kindly accept my invitation. Why not share our findings? Come on.
Of course. You don't mind me riding in this fancy car with a wrinkled suit, do you?
Aw, I think you look mighty dapper, Mr. Blacksad. Although, if those wrinkles were to rub off on me... I always play it nice and safe. Thank you, Blacksad. You won't regret this. So let's cut to the chase. I need Bobby Yale to fight Stone. There's just too much money at stake. So, I'm offering you my help to find Yale. Let's work together.
What kind of help do you need?
A simple exchange of information. You're a good detective, and I, well, let's just say I have my own ways of making people talk.
All right, then. Let's work together.
I thought you'd be hard to convince, that you'd appeal to the moral high ground or something. Please, hear me out. Let's say I bet a beer that we find Yale in 3 days, and you bet a beer that we don't. In 3 days, one of us has to buy the other a beer. Is that so bad? We're simply two grown men using our money and free will to conduct a small private exchange. And most importantly, we're not hurting anyone. So, yeah, I run a gambling business. What's so bad about that?
You're bending the truth to justify organized crime.
Oh, no. It might have been organized crime, but not anymore. I wasn't always a boss, you know. No, sir. I started at the bottom, when Lucky Blitzen ran the show. That good for nothing. His was a reign of terror, extortion, violence, you know, that sort of unpleasant thing. When I took over, I decided I'd make people want to do my bidding, not out of fear, but out of gratitude. I decided to help people so they would help me.
That beating your thugs gave me was really helpful. Thank you so much.
Those poor bastards didn't even know you were a detective, that you were on our side.
Maybe at first, but when they tied me up and beat the socks off me, they knew very well who I was.
Seriously? That goes against my rules. Who was it?
It was just Wilson.
That bastard. Don't you worry. I will have a serious talk with him. I cannot tolerate this behavior. Please accept my apologies, Mr. Blacksad. As I said before, I like to help people so I can count on their gratitude. That applies to fellow partners like police or, in this case, a detective. I won't deny this business has its fair amount of violence, extortion, and casualties, but I'd rather leave that to my enemies. And you are not my enemy. And, it looks like we're here.
Yale's apartment?
I told you I'm on your side. Go to the place. I'll wait down here. When you're done, you can honor our arrangement and share your findings with me. Or not. It's your call, Mr. Blacksad. I'll make sure you're suitably compensated. Wilson,
Come here.
I'm not sure how Yale's love of pickles will help me crack the case, but it's good to know. A woman's fragrance. Almost angelical. That means she's been here recently, but why? What does Sweet Mary have to do with Yale, the murder suspect? When I left, I told O'Leary I hadn't found a thing. The minute I was alone, I left for Mary's. But before all that, I took a small parting gift for her. I've never trusted angels.
Mr. Blacksad? What a...
Surprise? When they fall, they turn into demons.
Joey told me he was going to spend the afternoon painting the gym and that Bobby would be fixing something up on the roof. So, after I found the body and called the police, I went to Bobby's place, but he wasn't there.
How did you open the door to his apartment?
I think it was already open. Everything is so confusing. I'm sorry, Mr. Blacksad.
Don't be. I'm here to figure it all out. What's your relationship with Bobby Yale?
He was like a son to Joey, and we were about to get married, so, you know.
I knew you were cheating on Dunn with Yale. Or was it the other way around?
No. How can you even think of something like that?
How can you convince me otherwise? I found a picture at Yale's apartment. It's you and him on a roller coaster. Care to explain, Miss Purnell?
I'm not white, Mr. Blacksad.
What?
7 of my great-grandparents were white. The 8th was black. According to law, I'm a black citizen, even if my skin says the contrary. Do you know what that means when you're born in North Arlington, Alabama?
Segregated housing, with far worse homes for colored people.
We even have different water fountains, for God's sake. That's why I moved here. No one knows what color my great-grandparents were.
I'm black too, and I don't hide it.
Well, at least you're a man.
In any case, what's that have to do with Bobby Yale?
He's my nephew, Mr. Blacksad. Joe and I first started taking care of poor Bobby when my sister died. That was when he was almost 15. The 3 of us went on that trip to Luna Park.
So this is where Joe Dunn comes in.
Bobby was the only one who knew about me and Joey. We were afraid that someone would use my past to ruin his career.
It's not the first time I hear that story. You should have told me this sooner.
I've been hiding it all my life. I'm sorry.
Are you sure you don't know where your nephew is?
I've looked everywhere. He's nowhere to be found.
Don't worry. I'll find him.
Thank you.
Mary smells like... Actually, the whole room smells like a pie fresh out of the oven, so I can't identify any other fragrances. That cherry pie smells so good. I'm starting to get hungry.
Thanks. I pulled it out of the oven right before you arrived. Oh, where are my manners? I'm the worst hostess in the world. Let me go get a knife from the kitchen. And you must be thirsty. Let me see. OJ, coffee?
I'll take some coffee, thanks. Now that there's almost no pie left, the scent has also disappeared. Interesting. Now Mary smells like a huge dog. Mary, when are you going to stop lying? I know your nephew is here. I can smell him.
What? No. I already told you I don't know where he is.
Stop playing around and tell me. Where is he?
You can search the whole house if you want. Go ahead. He's not here.
Wait a minute. She's not the one who smells like that. That's where Bobby Yale's scent is coming from. So, that's why you were sitting there.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, you do. Could you step aside so I can check, please?
Please go.
Mary, for Christ's sake, put that knife down, would you?
Livora.
You know I could take that knife from you if I wanted to, Mary.
I mean it.
I don't want to hurt you.
Leave her alone!
Bobby!
I'm on your side, Bobby.
I'm not on yours!
Bobby!
Call an ambulance. Do as I say. Go on, call an ambulance. Do it now. 2 Mississippi. 3 Mississippi. 4 Mississippi.
Bobby. Oh, Bobby. Thank you, Bobby. Bobby. Thank you.
I had lots of reasons to consider this a great day. I had investigated a suicide case. I had discovered that, in truth, we were dealing with a murder. I had found and captured the prime suspect. And I had saved a life. And yet, everything in me screamed that something was going wrong. Terribly wrong.
Promise me you won't take the law into your own hands. I'd like to think we're not just vigilantes.
I want a gun.
What the hell?
Bang, bang, bang.
A fair amount of violence, extortion, and casualty.
I hate detectives.
Bang, bang, bang.
You're dead meat, cat.
That you, Smirnoff?
You seem agitated. Nightmare?
Yeah, I have a lot of those.
Yeah, that makes 2 of us. Anyway, why don't you go home? In his current condition, Yale's not going anywhere. Besides, we'll take it from here.
Who is that? Can we trust him?
I know how to pick my men, John. You? I'm not so sure. You promised me you wouldn't intervene.
If I hadn't intervened, Bobby Yale could be dead.
If you had warned me, maybe we could have avoided a heart attack. Anyway, what's done is done. When exactly did you realize that he killed Dunn?
To be honest, I'm not so sure Yale killed anyone.
How about the motive? Any ideas?
I know Dunn wanted to call the fight off after something Yale did, but I still don't know what.
In any case, hopefully Yale will tell us more.
Would you let me ask him some questions when he wakes up?
I know you will, with or without my permission, so I'd rather not feel betrayed. In exchange, drop by the station when you can. Your investigation could really help my men. Who, by the way, must be waiting for me to interrogate Mary Purnell. Boy, she was hard to pry from Yale's side.
She's been through a lot in the past days. Be nice to her.
Of course. In spite of it all, we're not just vigilantes. And as for you, go get some rest. God knows you need it.
I will. Thanks for the advice.
Tell the nurses to look at that face of yours. You look like a film detective in his last scene.
I'm afraid this film isn't over yet.
For your sake, I hope you're wrong. You're in charge now, officer.
Okay.
I'll send you relief in 6 hours. Understood?
Doctor.
Who are?
Oh, detective. Congratulations. You fared pretty well against that kid. Better than most would have.
Do I look like I fared well to you? How's Yale? Is he awake?
Oh yeah. Go check on him before he falls asleep again.
What's his current condition?
It's too soon to tell. He did have a heart attack after all.
Go away. I don't want to see you. The doctor told me to sleep.
I rarely get to interrogate a suspect with his guard down in a place as quiet as this. Getting the chance to study his body language with no distractions is a rare gift. His heart rate is increasing. It could mean that he's lying, but it could also just be pure, unadulterated rage. He's clenching his fist, a sign of contained anger. He's looking straight at me. If he couldn't hold my stare, I'd think he's lying. But that's not the case. Clenched fist, fast heart rate, fixed stare. He feels some genuine rage towards me. I'm sorry you don't want to see me, but I'm afraid you'll just have to put up with me.
For now. Luckily, I just got my medication. I'll be snoozing soon.
Who killed Joe Dunn?
What? Are you trying to confuse me? Joe hanged himself.
He seems about to burst into tears. Is he angry or sad? He opened his hand. That's a sign of honesty. Dunn was too short to hang himself with that rope.
So, it's true? He was murdered.
I know the murder weapon was yours.
What? The rope? I don't get it. What weapon do you mean?
Don't play with me, boy. The chest expander.
An expander? I've never had one of those.
All right. Let's just say that I believe you. The murderer killed Dunn with a chest expander and planted evidence to make us believe it was suicide. But he also left enough clues behind to make sure we found the true murder weapon. Then he put the chest expander box in your locker to frame you. Do you know anyone that twisted and who also happens to have a motive?
I don't know.
What about Frank Cassidy? Do you think he has a motive?
Maybe. A few weeks ago, Joe took me to a boxing managers association meeting.
Headed by Cassidy.
Yeah. He was obsessed with making it illegal for boxers to fight without a manager, or without an associated manager. Everyone seemed to go along with it until Joe spoke up. He said that would lower us to mob status, that Cassidy had founded the association just to make money by monopolizing the sport. That made others think twice, and Cassidy ended up empty-handed.
Poor Cassidy. What about Sonia Dunn?
Sonia? I doubt it. She's odd, but she's his daughter.
I've seen worse, believe me. Desmond O'Leary certainly seems twisted enough. Did he have anything against Dunn?
I'm not sure if they knew each other. At least not in person. About a month ago, Joe kicked one of O'Leary's men out of the gym. He was trying to give a business card to...
Jake Ostiami.
Yeah, exactly. Did Jake tell you about that?
Something like that.
Blacksad. I think I owe you an, You know, my father disappeared when I was 6, right after winning a fight. We never heard from him again. Do you know what that does to a kid? Who knows where I'd be if Joe Dunn hadn't been in my life. Even when I lost my way and put a gun to his head years later, he still took me under his wing and managed to steer me in the right direction. And now that he's gone, you're risking your life to find his murderer. Thanks.
You're welcome. He seems restless. Should I tell someone?
See, there's no fever whatsoever. He must be having a nightmare.
Are you sure?
Wouldn't you have nightmares too after what he went through yesterday? Oh, the poor thing. Do you know what my nightmare is? It's that witch I have to work with. Oh, good thing she's got trauma surgery at 12:30, but I wish it were a little sooner, you know? Anyway, thank you for letting me know, and for bringing him in. You don't know how excited I am to be involved in a criminal case.
It might not be important, but I need to take a look at his medical report. Hi.
You're awake, handsome?
I'll take a pack of Morley's, please.
Honey, get me a pack of Morley's for Mr. Hanson.
Yale's medical report is right there. Mind if I take a look?
No, I don't think so, handsome.
It seems like the Doe nurse will be assisting Dr. Talbot during his 12:30 surgery. In 4 hours. Could I get them to operate any sooner?
Trauma? Sherry speaking.
Sherry, this is Dr. Talbot. We have to reschedule the 12:30 procedure. I want everyone in the operating room in 5 minutes. If anyone gives you any grief, tell them it's a matter of life or death. Understood?
A matter of life and death. A matter of life and death. You gotta be kidding me.
All right now. How do I put this? I need something that you...
Oh, only if you guess why I'm giving it to you.
You want to help me solve a criminal investigation.
Well, aren't you smart? But be quick about it. You hear me, huh? If that witch comes back...
What? What does it say here?
Ah, you know doctors. The top handwriting is mine. Let's see. Extrasystole and dehydration caused by panic attack.
Extra what?
You know, arrhythmia, like skipped heartbeats.
What about this here?
It's a good thing I know that Mr. Yale is in Dr. Ferguson's hands. Otherwise, I'd be worried.
Hey, no means no, miss.
You really don't know who I am, do you?
Miss, I've got orders, and the fact is, those orders say that...
There you are, Miss Dunn.
Huh?
Tell him, Blacksad. I can't get through that thick skull of his.
You see, Highfill, this is my wife, Jerry.
I'll be damned. You didn't even say you were married.
Well, future wife.
Between you and me, I knew you'd settle down eventually. Just you wait. You'll even quit smoking with this one. All right, let her in, but don't do anything naughty.
So now we're married.
Would you like that?
Don't play with me, Mr. Blacksad. Anyway, you did your job. I'll send you a check the day after the fight. You can leave now.
Oh, no. She's gonna do something stupid. Sonia, don't.
He killed my father. You said so yourself.
Well, now I think he didn't. Sonia, I have reasons to believe he's innocent.
He almost killed you in that floozy's apartment. How could he not be guilty?
Your father sacrificed everything to pay your way through college. If you do this, you'll destroy the future your father wanted you to have.
Shut up! None of that matters. How could he not be guilty?
You can't take justice into your own hands. Believe me, it will haunt you as long as you live. It's okay. It's okay.
Uncle Tim!
Sweetie, I came back from Los Angeles as soon as I could.
I told you not to rush back.
Come on now, honey. Aren't you going to introduce me to your friend?
No, this is John Blacksad, the detective who found Bobby.
Oh, so this is strictly professional. I thought you had some good news for your uncle.
No, Uncle Tim, don't be silly.
Don't be silly. Look at you. Smart, educated, as dazzling as the brightest of stars. Every single man in this city should be at your feet. Come on, we'd better let him rest. I see. Let's say you're right and Bobby Yale is innocent. Who should we focus on now?
We?
Well, your father turned down my money, but he made me promise one thing, that I'd take care of you if anything happened to him.
But I can...
I know you're perfectly capable of managing that gym on your own, but we don't even know if he'll be ready to fight Stone. Besides, someone seems really invested in stopping that fight.
All right. Thank you, Uncle. Thank you so much.
All right, stop crying or you'll ruin your makeup, honey. Now fix yourself up and I'll buy you some breakfast.
Wait, my purse.
I'll get it. It must be...
Blacksad, wait a minute. I think she needs some time alone, just like you and me. Listen, boy, do whatever it takes to find Joe's murder. Whatever it takes. If things get messy, don't worry. I'll clean them up.
No. Are you telling stories about the great iron arm again?
Wait a minute. Of course. The Milestones quarterback. Tim Iron Arm Thorpe.
It's a good thing folks usually recognize me sooner. Blacksad, you coming to breakfast?
I'd love to, but I have to go ask for a favor. Jake wasn't at home or at his usual bar. But on the third try, I found him.
All right, that's enough. Take 5. Go on. What, John? What's so important?
Could you tell me where O'Leary's headquarters are?
What for? No. You could get me into trouble. No way.
You lied to me yesterday. And being the good friend that I am, I kept your secret. You owe me. I don't think I'd keep protecting you if we weren't friends. Although, if we were friends, you wouldn't hesitate to help me. Tell me, Jake, are we friends or not?
Damned cat. All right. O'Leary's hideout is in the basement of a Chinese restaurant. But I don't even know how to get in.
See you there.
Ronald, the break's over.
After 30 hours of work and several beatings, every bone in my body ached for a bed.
Now it's my turn.
So I went home to recharge. What do you know about that basement?
Well, let me think. Nothing?
Come on, Jake, for Christ's sake. Strain that little boxer brain. You must know something.
I've come to get O'Leary several times, but they always make me wait in the dining room. One day it was so late that the restaurant was closed. They made me call from a payphone in that alley over there to let them know I was here. A few minutes later, O'Leary came out the back door, that red one there.
All right, you stay by the payphone. Wait till I'm inside. If you see anyone, call the same number you did that one time. Got it?
Screw you.
A promising night indeed. There are questions we only ask ourselves when it's far too late. The painting concealed file after file of celebrity reports with all sorts of shady information, ranging from S to Z. Almost all of them were athletes. Is that what O'Leary meant when he said that detectives and police officers were his friends? I wonder how many spy for him. If I were to pitch in, who would I spy on? According to Stone's report, he was so clean, not to mention hard to corrupt, that O'Leary opted for a more subtle strategy. Apparently, when he broke up with the tennis player Helen Moore, he set her up with Stone. Lucky for him, they hit it off. As I put away the report, I stopped in my tracks. I sighed in relief. O'Leary had tried to buy Smirnoff on several occasions, but failed. Luckily, O'Leary had nothing on him, or me. In Bobby Yale's folder, all I found was a log of his incredible stats as an aspiring champion. 20 victories, 16 by knockout. Although, at the end of the report, someone had underlined one word several times: untouchable. Dunn's integrity was legendary, even in O'Leary's shady reports, just like Yale had said. Dunn had kicked one of O'Leary's men out of the gym when he found him snooping around. Cassidy's report was possibly the longest among all of O'Leary's files. Apparently, their rivalry went way back, so much so that they spied on each other in the most unthinkable ways. At least I was able to confirm what Yale had told me. Cassidy had threatened Dunn after he refused to join the managers' union. Helen Moore's file was, by far, one of the juiciest. She had been just a run-of-the-mill tennis player until O'Leary launched her career by rigging enough games to help her climb the ranking. However, O'Leary hadn't fixed any of her games in over a year. In spite of that, she remained undefeated. Be as it may, it was clear that O'Leary had enough information to ruin her career. Strange as it may seem, the reports revealed that O'Leary had hired Jake as a bodyguard precisely because he was absolutely clean. Apparently, he liked to surround himself with honest people when he mingled with the high society. Jake. Someone was coming.
Are we or are we not exemplary workers, Jimmy? Hey, Jimmy, what do you think about that?
I think he's scared stiff, Desmond.
Why's that, Jimmy? We're giving you the red carpet treatment. We even let you in the boss's office.
You're one lucky fellow.
You can't say I don't treat you well, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Speak, you moron.
Yeah, very well. Why are you...
Shh. Calm down. How long have you worked for me, Jimmy?
3 months. 3 months.
Oh, yeah. I hired you right after your cousin Martin died. I need your opinion. How would you punish someone for ruining an innocent man's life with a hit and run, Jimmy?
I don't know.
Then tell me, what about you, Wilson? What would you do?
No, please.
He was a good guy. Of course, you already knew that. You knew him better than me, right?
He was my cousin.
That's why I hired you, Jimmy. You see, Martin was a dear friend. And his widow said you were a nice kid. That you do a good job, and you needed the money. And I have a soft spot for those in need.
Please.
But, you know what? I talked to her just yesterday. She told us you did some naughty things to her with that gun, Jimmy.
No.
That's no way to treat a widow, is it? What about the kid? Are you so sure you know how long a kid can hold his breath? With his little head inside a toilet bowl?
Son of a bitch. Selfishly, I was glad I hadn't risked my life to save Jimmy. Maybe not even someone like him deserves to die. But one could also argue that I didn't deserve to die for someone like him.
Who's your boss? Give me a name!
Cassidy. It was his idea. He said you'd hired me if I'd managed to scare the widow, and I just...
All right. Let's just... calm down now. It's gonna be okay. There are two sacred principles that rule my life. The first principle is the love for my family. I'd do anything to protect them. The second principle, I never put my future in the hands of fate. I always play it nice and safe. And I would even add a third principle, or better yet, a rule. If anything threatens either of these two crucial principles, I take matters into my own hands. You see where this is going? For the first time I got someone killed, even though all I really did was rat him out.
No, I just...
Stop interrupting me, Jimmy! It's not polite! You're all the same. So rude. You know what? Let's leave it at that. You're going to give a message to that disgusting walrus Cassidy, aren't you?
Yeah, sure. Whatever you say. Yeah, sure. Huh?
Good boy.
What's the message?
Oh, Jimmy. You still don't get it, do you? You are the message. Come on. Wrap him up. Make sure Cassidy gets the message for breakfast, will you? I hope he chokes on it.
Got it.
Where are you hiding, little fishy? Once again, you didn't get to hear the end of my story. What? Just where do you think you're going, putty cat? The love I feel for my family. Never leave destiny in the hands of fate. I always play it nice and safe. If anything threatens either of these two I take matters into my own hands. The first time that someone died because of me, even though all I did was rat him out, well,
that guy ended up in the Hudson River, right off Pier 27. He's gotta be even wetter than that fish by now. You should have seen his face.
It's interesting what comes to mind when you think you're about to die. Suddenly all I could think about was how much I wanted a pet fish.
You too, Bruce? Anyway, I was 14 years old, and I still dream about it. About his widow and his son.
By then, I was adamant about buying a fish. But first...
That was that. Never again.
Nowadays, whether it's me who pulls the trigger or not, I have zero regrets. What's more, I sort of enjoy it.
When a mob boss declares his love of family, it can only mean that A, he won't hesitate to ruin yours, and B, he's cheating on his wife. In case anyone had any doubts about who's the boss around here, I'll put my dirty feet on his luxurious table to prove that all of this is mine. His pupils are dilated, and there's a slight grin on his face. The bastard is enjoying himself. The guy never hesitates to pull the trigger. Even if I hadn't seen what he did to Jimmy, I'd know he's not bluffing. I knew I had it in me to get out of that place alive.
And, well, that's it, I think. You know, Blacksad, I never made it this far.
I didn't want to interrupt you because I respect you and your word, but I'm actually here to help. Your wife is having an affair with Colbert.
What? Me? No way! Well, here's the thing. I don't respect your word. And since you brought me no proof...
Check my coat pocket, on the right.
Oh, Blacksad, Blacksad, Blacksad. Oops. Thank you very much. And sorry for jumping to conclusions. First, you get a random beating from Wilson. And here we are. When you shared what you'd found in Yale's apartment, well, it made me sort of want to trust you. But as you well know, you can't trust anyone in this world. Take it. It's only fair.
I want to bet it all on the fight, on Sonia Dunn's behalf.
Oh, what a romantic you are. We listen, if you call it listening, to the sentimental romance.
Your eyes act like the moon.
Ah, a cultured man. Anyway, go ahead. Place your bet.
I bet it all on Yale.
Oh, Blacksad. Aren't these odd hours to pay me a visit? Your message was important, but certainly not urgent. It could have waited until tomorrow, don't you think?
I wish I was a noir fiction writer. At this very moment, I could write a couple of pointed, ironic remarks for the narrator to recount what I just lived through. The dark, crooked alleys of New York reminded me of the state of my own soul. No. Fall loomed over me with the... Fall struck me with the full force of my long-lost youth. Nah, not that. Fall descended over me with the full weight of a guilty conscience. God, that's worse. I felt falls seep through my bones like the pain of a good beating. Mediocre, but appropriate. Against all odds, next morning I got up bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. And I had my kind, unknown assailants to thank. The beating had taken its toll, but for the first time in months, I had slept like a baby.
Oh, come on, Helen, focus! All right, take 5. We'll work on that double backhand later.
Well, Mr. Blackmore, what can I do for the FBI?
Cooperate with law enforcement. All you have to do is talk.
I like to speak through my actions, but still, could you be more specific?
Maybe if we could speak in private?
Alec!
Coming!
You've got 4 minutes, Mr. Blackmore, so make them count.
We know about you and Desmond O'Leary.
Wow, the FBI sure knows what it's doing. So, out of the 100 million Americans who know about that, who did you extort to get such highly confidential information?
The thing is, well...
You see, I'd love to wipe out that part of my past, but whatever.
Do you have any regrets?
Ads pay more than trophies. Can you believe it? Being associated with such a shady character can only damage my reputation. Trust me, never get involved with a married man.
They say you're currently involved with Al Stone, the boxer. Is that correct?
Wow, your sagacity never ceases to amaze me.
Don't beat around the bush. We know why you're with him.
Oh, so you like his biceps too?
Desmond O'Leary asked you to seduce Stone. Why?
What? No, I met Al by chance at a party. A party hosted by Desmond O'Leary. No, that can't be. No one is that shrewd. Not even him. Damn, I hate that bastard.
We're aware of at least 6 rigged games during your first year as a professional player.
And?
You won all of them.
Are you trying to offend me? I give my all on the court. I can't be held accountable if my rivals don't do the same. Go interrogate them. In any case, now I know why you mentioned O'Leary. What do you really have against him? And don't say illegal gambling.
O'Leary is a murderer. Every criminal organization has blood on his hands. His is no exception. And we have proof. I'm serious, Miss Moore. America can't afford to let anyone shake its foundations like that. And America's sweetheart can't afford it either. Help us out. Talk to us. Our country faces drastic problems that require drastic solutions. Do you want to be part of the problem or part of the solution?
This is actually quite simple.
One lucky gal.
You have a light, sir? I don't know what you want me to say. You're trying to frame O'Leary, perhaps rightfully so, but I think you're barking up the wrong tree. Believe me, if I had the slightest...
Come on, Helen. Time to work on your backhand. Let's go.
Do you smoke? Nice meeting you, Mr. Blackmore. Did you bring my water?
America's sweetheart gave you her cigarette? Dear God, she has the hots for you! I can't believe you said good old Weekly to investigate that stupid walrus while you were hanging out with Helen Moore herself! So, what do you say, you and me, we change places next time, huh?
Your turn. Now tell me, what did you find out?
You're gonna love this. You ready? I've got news, but I happen to also have a
Blacksad.
My husband has disappeared.
What? Who is... Oh, Mrs. Colbert.
But last night he got a phone call. He said he had to work, and he still hasn't come back. Nobody's seen him at work since yesterday evening. Plus, I haven't heard from you since our first conversation. Do you have anything?
I don't know how to put this, but your husband is dead. You must know who he worked for and what he did for a living. This was bound to happen. Mrs. Colbert?
That good for nothing? I'm gonna scratch his eyes out. I'll tear his stupid head off. I'm gonna make him regret.
But what just happened? Is there anything you didn't tell me?
Maybe. But now it's your turn. Tell me about Cassidy. Come on, spit it out.
I didn't find anything suggesting that Cassidy had anything to do with Dunn's murder, but...
That's quite the tale.
But I know Cassidy will be playing poker tonight with one Howard M. Farnham II, a Texas tycoon looking to get his claws on the boxing business. I also know that he and Cassidy have never met in person, and that Farnham, who's staying at the Balford Hotel, hasn't left his room. Apparently, he spent the night with 3 bottles of bourbon. So, here's my incredible plan. I'll go to the hotel, I'd knock him out, and then take his place in the poker game. That way, I'll get Cassidy talking. What do you think? Incredible, right?
Didn't we agree that you would handle Helen Moore while I dealt with Cassidy next time? No? Good afternoon, Mr. Farnham.
What's going on?
John Blackmore. I work for Frank Cassidy. He asked me to bring you these bottles so you could choose which one you prefer for the game.
Oh, sure. I was fixing to leave, but I guess them monuments ain't going anywhere. Well, come on in then.
Getting in Farnham's room was easy. Earning his trust was another story. But I always have an ace up my sleeve.
Blackmore? You okay, partner?
The best way to earn someone's trust is to make them believe they've earned yours. And sometimes, the best way to fake it is to tell the truth. They killed my girlfriend. And no matter how hard I try, I just can't let go.
Did those bastards pay for what they done to you, boy?
They paid.
Well, good. Honor's being restored, and sure enough, our good Lord will see to it that they burn in hell. You need to move on, partner. Plenty of lookers out there. Find yourself a charming lady friend, even if it costs you a pretty penny.
One of the tricks of this trade is to be wary of the biases we all have. They cloud our judgment and blur the person in front of us, painting them with the shades of our preconceived notions of who they should be. But every once in a while, you run into someone so locked in personality, that they can only be regarded as a stereotype. Farnham was a disgrace, not only to himself, but to Texas and the entire human race. To think I had to impersonate him. I wish I was like you. You seem so content, so free of burdens.
Stop right there, partner. You think this old dog don't have ticks? Let me tell you something about my first wife. Woo-wee!
Once I had gained Farnham's trust, the hard part was deciding what I needed to know to become him and not get myself killed.
What can I do for you, sir?
Farnham was one hell of a drinker. I had to get the information out of him before he drank himself unconscious. Otherwise, I'd have to find that information myself.
Yes, I got a Vietnamese shave last night.
Oh, please, come in. Of course, I remember you. Take a seat. I'm sure you'll understand we can't be too careful. Our host has many enemies, and someone has to keep them at bay.
Sure, I get it.
I'm glad to hear that. Now, please answer my question. How much does it cost to get yourself a clean Vietnamese shave?
Yeah, sure enough, booze put the nail on the coffin of my first marriage. You know, the wife that caught me cheating with the maid. My second marriage, too. You know what I did to her daddy? Same old with several mistresses. So I decided to stick to my guns and only deal with hookers. Even if I did end up marrying some.
I'm Cassidy's slave. He lent me the money for a game deposit, and I lost it all. Now I have to work off my debt.
Oh, Cassidy's not your problem, son. It's poverty. Sure enough, I had to pay my own deposit this morning to y'all, and that was just petty cash to me.
Petty cash, to be honest. I asked you how much.
Of course they gave me my receipt. What do you think I am, boy? Wait, I'll show you. I gotta get somewhere. Just a sec. I'll get it. I just put it over. I think I'll be right back.
Why didn't you just say you had the receipt in your pocket? I'm almost certain, but tell me, who told you to come to this barber shop?
Let me tell you a little secret about my first wife, sonny boy. When I met that woman, she had no manners, no money, no nothing. Who in the hell? Farnham. My God, if it ain't the hero of the day. Anyway, Kenny, thanks for fixing the game with Cassidy. God bless you, brother. Craziest goddamn Texan in New York.
My good old friend Kenny. Craziest goddamn Texan in New York.
You know how many Kennys there are in New York? Kenny who?
So besides when and where the game will be, the password, and the money Farnham dished out, what else do I need? Luckily, there was only one Kenny in Farnham's address book, Kenny Eakes, residing at
Cornell Plaza, Manhattan. Stunning penthouse.
I'm not surprised. Mr. Eakes has excellent taste. Do you happen to know what he asked for the last time he was here?
Don't tell me, Billy Bob. This here is my new friend Farnham. Am I right?
Sure enough, your barber was fixing to give me a shave.
You can get a good shave at another time. Billy Bob is always at our beck and call.
Of course.
Hey, come on. Let's get in there before they finish all the bourbon without us.
I haven't frisked him yet, sir.
I don't think that'll be necessary. Mr. Farnham here, he's an honest Texan, and I'm sure he'll hand over his weapon if we ask him to. Right?
It'll be my pleasure.
Welcome, gentlemen. Chips are on the table and guns are in the safe. Now, we got a lovely night of poker ahead of us full of smoking and bourbon. So let's get started. Take a seat, Mr. Farnham. Let me introduce you. To my right, wearing gray boxers and weighing in at 140 pounds, the owner of Pink Vice, the largest meat market in all of Manhattan.
In other words, a real son of a bitch. No offense to the women he exploits.
Our reigning champion, Oswald Quince.
A title I aim to keep, provided our new contender here doesn't interfere.
Sorry, partner. You ain't got a chance in hell. But look at it this way. You're fixing to learn new tricks.
For better or for worse, I only need one trick. Playing well.
The truth is that our friend Farnham owns the largest and, I dare say, most entertaining establishment in Texas.
Really? So we're colleagues then?
Yeah, you wish, Quince. He owns a casino.
Damn.
And it's not even in Austin or Dallas. It's actually in a little town called, what was it? Darn it. I looked it up the other day. Had a funny ring to it. I hate it when this happens.
You mean Ding Dong, Texas?
Ding Dong! That's it.
Who'd ever think of a name like that?
Well, casino or no casino, let's just hope he doesn't keep as many aces up his sleeve as the late Ventimiglia, huh?
Amen.
To my left, wearing brown boxers and weighing in at 396 pounds.
Frank, show some respect, huh?
The hospitality tycoon, Polly... no.
Tycoon? I just own a small bar with pool tables. Clients drink close to nothing and play even less, but certain business transactions just couldn't happen anywhere else.
Damn it, Paulie. Why don't I know your last name?
Because they took it away from me. You have no idea how good my ex-wife's lawyer is.
Women, they even take our damn names.
You're too much, Paulie.
When you're done sightseeing, why don't you drop by La Iguana for a game of pool, and I'll buy you a drink. But I have to warn you, my clientele isn't crazy about furry fellas such as yourself.
Sorry, partner. I can't stand pool.
Well, then just come down to drink and drink some more.
Well, looks like Farnham won't be venturing into the pool hall business anytime soon. This guy here wants to start a boxing association in Texas. And guess who he's turning to for advice?
To be honest, several things got me worried. So I'd be much obliged for any counseling.
So, what worries you?
Homicidal boxers like Bobby Yale.
Ha! That's some piece of news, huh? Hey, I don't know if he did it, but the real problem is that the fight against my champ Stone might not even frickin' happen. The good news is that I've almost convinced the governor to let him out of prison on the day of the fight. Under police escort, that is. I bet you the audience gets a kick out of that. Billy Bob, bring out the bourbon. We're drying up here. I'll deal with a fresh deck, of course. We respect traditions in this establishment.
Poker is as boring as it is simple. All you need to do is read people's faces. And even the worst detective has that trick up his sleeve. The real issue is knowing what to play for when there's much more than just money at stake.
Damn it! What again?
How many games have you won, Farnham?
Mark my words. Farnham will be calling his wife before the night is over.
Ha! Oh, hey, by the way, did you guys hear about Kenny's wife? Pretty tragic, huh?
What happened?
Oh, plain bad luck. Hey, but Farnham, I'm sure you know more about it than I do.
Anyway, Kenny, thanks for fixing the game with Cassidy. God bless you, brother. Craziest goddamn Texan in New York. Women just gotta have their vices. She's in a rehab clinic now, hooked on tranquilizers and all that.
That's it, tranquilizer. Don't tell me women don't have their vices, too. Bring out the bourbon, Billy Bob. Come on, give me the bourbon.
Maybe I spoke too soon when I said that poker is easy for a good detective. Let's just say it's relatively simple. There's always someone ready to surprise you, relatively speaking.
Well, I'll be damned! I don't believe this!
What happened, Farnham?
Beginner's luck doesn't last forever, and that's when the real champ comes in. I hope you're ready to lose it all, my friend.
Poor Farnham. Came looking to make big bucks in the city with his boxing, and he's gonna lose it all with poker.
I hope your counseling will make up for it.
Yeah, so how can I be of help?
Rebel coaches like Joe Dunn.
Oh, I see you done your homework. That bastard wouldn't accept the most basic rules. For example, banning boxers from official competitions when their managers don't belong to my association. Hey, don't get me wrong, I'm sorry for his death, but if they ever find the murderer, I'd be glad to pay his lawyer fees.
Those there athletes hooking up with each other, like Al Stone and Helen Moore.
I see you subscribe to What's News. Yeah, my star boxer, the reigning champion. He's having an affair with America's sweetheart. Hey, I got nothing against those two idiots falling in love. Don't get me wrong, but it's taking a toll on his performance. I don't think he'll lose against Yale, but I'm starting to worry a bit. Come on, let's steal another hand before Quince accuses us of trying to break his winning streak.
Ain't gonna happen. Gentlemen, I suggest you never tell your sons about this game, unless you want to lose their respect.
Wait, you mean our sons actually respect us?
I hear you. There's no way to set boys straight these days. They don't even respond to a good old beating.
I dare say Texan boys do respond to a good beating.
Hey, careful, Quince. You're talking to a pro. So, Kenny told me you had quite a house full.
How many kids you got in that house full of yours?
No, that son of a bitch was about to choke on his own vomit. Even so, I couldn't just stand there and watch him die. No, deserving or not, the man would live.
Six, well, that's something. I don't know how you deal with all of them.
All boys,
Does it have to be now?
Oh, never let Quince near one of your daughters.
Come on, Polly. Children are sacred. I won't lay a finger on them until they're 12. After that, well... let's just say... some men have needs that can only be met by a young girl that age, if you know what I mean. Are you all right, Farnham?
If you laid those dirty hands on one of my girls, I'd kill you myself.
Now, what if that lovely 12-year-old girl was your sweet little niece, or my cousin Mike's niece? And what if she disappeared a while back? And what if she'd been taken to work uptown? In a brothel, huh? What do you think about that?
I don't know what you're talking about, Frank.
Don't you dare call me Frank. Billy Bob.
It's 500 more. Huh. For washing up.
It's a deal. Sorry for the spectacle, fellas. I had no idea the game would end like this. Please, take my tokens, and that flying scumbag's tokens as well. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some family matters to attend to. If you decide to go ahead with your new venture, call me Farnham.
Your behavior at last night's game was utterly insulting. Never contact me again, or I'll put an end to your pathetic life. If our common acquaintance should ask you about your business endeavors, tell him that boxing is too violent for you. Signed, Frank Cassidy. My own tracks would be covered the following morning when Cassidy read this note from Farnham.
Dear Mr. Cassidy, although I'm grateful for your kind help, last night's game made me realize that boxing is just too violent for a peaceful Texan like myself. I have decided to invest elsewhere. Yours sincerely, Howard M. Farnham II. Damn Texans.
As for me, it was the first time in days that I had gone to bed without my daily meal. A real shame. Nothing like a bruised body to help you to sleep like a baby. Maybe I should have given myself a beating. Blacksad.
Finally, I need you at the gym now, please. It was like this when I got here.
When did you get here?
I've been calling you for over an hour.
Calm down. I'll take care of this. Bingo.
What is it?
Nothing. Just a freshly signed contract.
What are you doing?
Do you like sardines?
Excuse me?
Do you like sardines?
Ugh.
Looks like the burglar isn't interested in bureaucracy.
Did they take anything?
No. Although, when you went in the hospital room to get your purse, did you get the gun as well?
Yes. Isn't it there? I put it back. I'd rather not go through that again.
Is this yours?
I think it belongs to the new cleaning lady. Mary just wasn't working out, so she left.
Clarice Freeman?
Yes. You think she did this?
Ah, damn. I want you to call the police, Sonia, and then go straight to a friend's house. Don't even think about going home, and definitely don't come back here.
I'm staying at a friend's house. I haven't even set foot in my father's place yet.
Good. Do you have the keys? If the murderer didn't find what he was looking for, that might be his next stop, if he hasn't been there yet. For once I had the keys to the place, which meant I wouldn't have to use my lockpicks or... It looks like Dunn had already begun to move his things. Dunn? Thorpe? No idea. And these two, they look familiar. Of course. Now I see how Dunn bought the apartment he was going to share with Mary. This place has to be empty in 2 weeks for the new owners. I wonder if Sonia knows about this. Sardines. It's been open for a few hours. What's this doing here? Could this be the origin of Sonia's interest in business management? we still looked at her every morning, so many years later, with a new love, maybe we don't need to forget. Maybe pain just transforms into, I don't know, something. I think that was Dunn's wife's name, according to Jake. No matter how hard I look, I'm not getting anywhere. What the hell was the burglar looking for? And most importantly, did he find it? It's pretty clear that the burglar came by the house before heading to the gym, which means he probably didn't find what he was looking for in here. I need to talk with Sonia, and maybe with her uncle Tim. Bad memories?
A pessimist, are we? It's like remembering the last day of summer. Scenes full of joy, picturesque landscapes, and yet the light is faint and the air is still, the calm before the storm.
I know that feeling.
I figured that much. I can see it in your eyes. We met in the Army. We were all professional athletes. They called us the Olympic Five.
Who's the guy on the right?
Angus Mitchell, our combat medic, and a doctor with the New York Warriors. It was Spano who got him assigned to our platoon.
Hey, isn't that Craig Spano? The guy on the Morley's billboards?
Yes, indeed. Our captain. He was the oldest, after all, and star of the New York Warriors. He was an orphan, you know. But he loved the sport so much that he said baseball was his family.
Who's the guy on the left?
Ah, Victor Sukovsky, the athlete. You've probably heard of his medals.
What about you?
I had just signed with the Milestones. I hadn't even played my first game, but people said I had a bright future ahead of me.
But the war got in the way of that bright future.
Huh? No, I made it big when I came back. Best time of my life. Don't you remember that cop at the hospital? The one who let me in exchange for an autograph? Trust me, nobody calls you Iron Arm if you're just sitting on the bench. Who would have thought that I'd end up becoming Tim Iron Legs Thorpe?
What happened?
I fought the Nazis for 2 years, up there in the sky, over Europe. And I never set foot in a field hospital. 3 years later, I crossed the street without looking. And look at me now.
Was Dunn already boxing?
Yes, he was. I had already seen him fight before I even met him. He was as humble in the ring as he was in life. He'd always let his rivals take the initiative. I remember how he barely dodged the blows. If you didn't look at his feet, it seemed like he wasn't even moving. And the footwork, pure dancing. You could almost hear the music. The song would play until his opponent was exhausted. Then came the drum roll, followed by Dunn's victory by KO.
What happened to all of them?
Zukovsky died the same day they injured Dunn. Dunn received an honorable discharge and came home. He quit boxing and opened his gym. Mitchell was redeployed to a field hospital. Spano and I continued in the same unit, but nothing was ever the same. You see what I meant with the last day of summer. And after the war, well, who the hell cares?
I do. What happened to Spano?
Well, you've seen the billboards. He made it big time. When I was forced to retire, I got him some advertising deals. That's how I founded this agency. But then, something happened to him. He became sullen. He fell out of shape, and slowly but surely lost touch with reality. He withdrew from public life and broke off our friendship. Haven't heard from him in, 3 years? And believe me, I've tried to contact him.
You think Spano might have been involved in Dunn's death?
Spano? No way. He and Dunn were always... Well, Spano's changed so much that it's hard to say.
What happened to Mitchell after the war?
Mitchell? Who knows? We lost touch. I hope he's doing well.
I think I saw Mitchell not too long ago, but I can't remember where.
Seriously? Please try to remember. I'd love to hear from him again.
I'll do my best.
Allow me to double your wage. You have to find the murderer. Maybe Dunn stayed in touch with Mitchell or Spano. Maybe even with both. But he never told me anything. Maybe Sonia knows.
I doubt it. But that's not the only question I've got for her. May I?
Yes?
Sonia.
No, she's not here. Who's calling?
Where is she?
Have you ever wished you'd never been born?
Yeah, sometimes.
Then we're both in the same boat. First time was right after moving to New York. I hated my mother. She was the reason we moved from the countryside and the smell of freshly mowed grass to this dirty city and the smell of medicine. Her medicine. The second time was after she died. I hated myself for having hated her before, for not having loved her enough. The third time was when my father shut himself off. I hated him for that, for abandoning me, for giving in to the booze. Now he's dead, so...
You've realized just how much you really loved him.
I guess so. But that's not the worst of it. The problem is I don't know how to live without hating him. Over the last few years, everything I've done was meant to push my father far away. To avoid being like him. To avoid making his same mistakes. Without him, I just don't know who I am.
The more you hate, the worse you feel.
You think I don't know that? I need someone to blame. Without that someone, I have only myself to hate.
Hate me. A good detective would have found the killer by now.
That's nonsense. You've already come so far. I'm sorry I haven't been a little more grateful.
In any case, you shouldn't hate yourself. You're kind, smart, and beautiful.
Are you really trying to flatter me now?
No, Seriously, I didn't mean to... Sorry.
Anyway, can we just drop the subject? Did you go to my father's apartment?
Yes. The thief went there before coming to the gym, which leads me to believe he didn't find what he was looking for.
And what was he looking for?
That's what I intend to find out, with your help. Your father sold his apartment. The new owners move in 2 weeks.
What?
I'm sorry. I think he used the money to buy a new place with Mary Purnell. You'll have to talk to her sooner or later.
My father. Even now, he finds new ways to make me hate him.
I found a picture taken during the war.
The Olympic 5.
Did you meet any of them, besides your father and uncle?
Well, Uncle Tim actually isn't my uncle.
No?
They were flying over Brittany in a 3-unit fighter plane. Zukovsky was the pilot, my father was the co-pilot, and my uncle manned the machine gun. Suddenly, enemy fire killed Zukovsky and injured my father, which is why he never boxed again. My uncle jumped out of the gun turret, ran to the cockpit, and managed to pilot the plane to safety. Oh, the times my father told me that story. And now...
You still have your uncle.
Yes, I guess you're right. Maybe he can also save me.
Did you ever meet Spano? What can you tell me about him?
I think I saw him once, but I was just a little girl. I think my uncle turned him into a star. That was a long time ago.
I found a baseball glove with Spano's autograph in your room.
Oh, I've never seen it. My father must have put it there, although I don't remember him having a signed glove.
Did you ever meet Mitchell, the doctor?
Mitchell? The lizard? No, never. Why?
Oh, nothing. I think I've seen him somewhere. It's odd that there are practically no toys or memories of your childhood in the room, except for a small music box.
That box? It might just be my last happy memory. It's from before my mother got sick and we moved here. I loved reading stories about pirates. So my father drew a treasure map for me. I searched the whole house, one clue at a time. It led me to this enormous tree in the yard where Daddy had put up a tire swing. X marks the spot, so I dug to find my treasure. I loved the music it played, the ballerina and the little secret compartment. Oh, the secrets I kept in there.
I think it's the first time I heard you call your father Daddy.
Really?
Did the abacus inspire you to dabble in finances?
The most useful gift anybody has ever given me.
A gift from your Uncle Tim?
He used to say that in this day and age, a woman should know how to count. My father didn't agree, but he didn't oppose it either. People thought he was a liberal because of his attitude towards racial issues. But at home, things were different.
Are you cold?
A little. Maybe I should go.
Well, I think you've already answered all my questions.
It's about time. I thought you were waiting for me to freeze out here. Anyway. Thanks for the company.
Sonia, thank you.
Aren't you coming?
I knew I was looking at a solution, but what exactly needed solving? Maybe Dunn used the same hiding place once more. I'll never understand why detectives and criminals bluster while they fight each other in the picture. What a waste of breath, focus, and energy. It's not the lack of credibility in the screenplay that bothers me. Plus, it's actually pretty handy. When a crook talks to you in the middle of a fight, you know you're up against a rookie.
What did they say?
Nothing serious. I lost another one of my 9 lives. Oh, this hurts.
Got many left?
I'm in the red. He hasn't woken up yet?
Nope. We're gonna be here a while. Vulpine, 7 letters.
Cunning?
C-U-N-N-I-N-G. It fits. I hope it doesn't throw anything off. Yep, looks like you were right with cunning. What are you looking for?
Nothing. Will he live?
He'll live.
So what have you found out?
Randall Lee. Apparently in love with our penitentiary system, judging by the frequency of his visits. Theft, assault, extortion, minor things of the sort.
Any partners?
Always works alone. He's never ratted out his employers, provided they exist. Did you find anything? Is this our man? Do you have proof?
Looks like we know who tore his pants following Clarice Freeman up to the rooftop. His pants have a tear in them. I found a piece of that same fabric at the gym, on the stairs that lead to the rooftop where we found the second body.
Makes sense, but how many pairs of ripped pants are walking around New York City? I don't call that evidence.
The guy who broke into the gym in Dunn's place has a thing for sardines. Did you smell his breath?
Right, because there's only one sardine fanatic on this side of the Hudson. I need something more.
I saw footprints from those very same shoes next to both the gym murders.
Unless you're telling me that shoe is a limited edition, I'm gonna need something else.
One of the thugs that attacked me the other night had a snout just like his.
I'm sorry, but you can't incriminate someone based solely on species. What else you got?
What more do you need? I've given you 4 pieces of evidence.
None of which are conclusive.
He tried to throw me off the rooftop.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. He's our man.
No, he's not our man.
Make up your mind.
He's just a puppet. Someone is pulling his strings.
Could it be Yale?
He's hiding something for sure, but I don't think he did it. By the way, was he discharged? His room is empty.
They let him out yesterday. He's in police custody now. You can tell he's an athlete. Made quite the comeback. Anyone else would have taken 10 times as long. Anyway, he better be fine. You know they've ordered me to escort him to Madison Square Garden on the day of the fight.
That's the first I hear of it.
Quick, what do you want? Good cop or bad cop?
I'm the bad guy. Good thing someone took out the trash.
Good morning, Mr. Lee. I assume you're aware that you're about to be accused of murder, and that thanks to the witness testimonies of Mr. Blacksad and Miss Dunn, your future's not looking too good.
Go to hell, you dog. If I choked you with a pillow, nobody would know. You should already be dead.
Blacksad, stay out of this. Remember who's the cop here. Maybe we can offer you a deal. We know someone hired you to kill Joe Dunn and Clarice Freeman. What do you have to say?
I'll call your bluff. You ain't got nothing. Your friend the Hellhorse doesn't seem to feel that way. Although I'm afraid he won't be talking anymore.
Shut up or I'll kick you out. If you tell us who hired you, we'll help you.
What can you offer me? How much is your life worth to you?
Don't pay attention to him, Mr. Lee. We aren't vigilantes. But we can significantly reduce your sentence.
That's a start, but it's not good enough. I want in on the witness protection program. New city, new job, new identity, and a clean police record. That's the only way I'll talk. Meanwhile, I want police protection 24/7. I'm afraid that...
Whoa! Watch out!
Luckily, Smirnov's wound wasn't as bad as Randall's. Unfortunately, the police found nothing on the nearby rooftops. Our best shot at finding the killer was gone, so I went back to my previous lead.
It's from before my mother got sick and we moved here. I loved reading stories about pirates, so my father drew a treasure map for me. I searched the whole house, one clue at a time. It led me to this enormous tree in the yard where Daddy had put up a tire swing.
Hello, Smirnoff residence.
You're dead! No, I got you with my lasso!
Can you quiet down, kids?
Dunn got killed for stirring the hornet's nest.
And you confessed your crime!
Kids, please.
He'd been investigating athletes for months, including Helen Moore and Al Stone, among others. Dunn's notes aren't all that clear, and I'm not sure what he was after. But I'd say we're facing a widespread corruption case.
Well, if you're right, that could be some dangerous evidence. Bring it here ASAP.
Sure, but there's something important that I need to finish first. I wanted to follow a certain lead on my own before Smirnoff had the chance to see anything. According to his notebook, Dunn had seen Craig Spano at Sam's Diner just 4 days before his death.
Scram, you son of a bitch!
Beat it or what?
Well, I can't make up my fucking mind. Either call the cops or beat your ass. Which would you prefer?
It might have been easier to slap the information out of him, but I decided to trust in a universal truth. Everyone is guilty of something. You don't know who I am, right? I'm John H. Blackmore, Public Health Inspector.
Oh, yeah, right. There are some real freaks around here, so I have to be firm, you know? Have you eaten? Dinner's on the house.
After you answer my questions.
Sure, go ahead. Your call. Always at your disposal, Inspector. Ask away.
Fear turned him soft and made him talk. Sure enough, Dunn had been there a few days back with a chimpanzee who matched Spano's description. Apparently, the guy still lived with his father. Dunn said he couldn't stay there a day more. For the time being, he would move into his place.
Wait a minute. What does Public Health Services have to do with that chimp?
The chimp died of food poisoning.
But wait! He didn't even eat!
Which is even worse. Dunn had taken Spano to his place. I wanted to believe that when Randall Lee broke into the apartment, Spano fled to his former address. But where could that be? If the living have rich and poor neighborhoods, so do the dead. In the mid-19th century, Greenwood became the resting place to the city's most distinguished citizens. Thinkers, scientists, writers, inventors, artists, businessmen, politicians, police officers, thieves, pimps, and murderers. Here lie the bodies of the soulless minds that raised New York from the ground up. Now you know where to go to become somebody in the Big Apple. According to the book I found at Dunn's place, fans of the sport leave baseballs on Bradwick's tomb to pay their respects. It's strange that I don't see any. Maybe they're gone with the wind, or somebody claimed them as part of their inheritance. Still hot. I'm investigating a case of sports corruption. I think a considerable amount of athletes are involved, both current celebrities and former stars. I've always been a New York Warriors fan, although, to be honest, they're not what they used to be. Yep, they just haven't been the same without Craig Spano. Joe Dunn met with someone at the diner, close to his gym. Then he took that person to his house, so that he didn't have to live at the cemetery. I would have never guessed the person's identity.
Who are you?
I'm John Blacksad, private investigator.
How's Joe?
One question at a time. It's my turn.
Your turn.
Why did you meet with Joe Dunn?
Because he was looking for me. He came here one morning, but I was too embarrassed to come down. Because he left a baseball with his initials on by the tombstone. Sam's Diner, tomorrow, 12:30 a.m. Because he knew they want to kill me.
What did he want from you? And who wants to kill you?
One question at a time. How's Joe?
What would happen if I told him the truth? Would he lose it? Could I take that chance? Joe Dunn is dead. Murdered.
I told you, Joe. How did it happen?
A hitman. But he's dead now. Although whoever hired him still hasn't been punished. My turn. What did Dunn want from you?
He wanted to know who was playing dirty in the sporting business. Dirtier than usual, that is. Wrecked lives, careers, ruined at the top of the game. He wanted to know if the same had happened to me. He wanted to know if the end of my career and my disappearance had anything to do with all that. He wanted me to confirm who was behind it all. The guy who had him killed. Our old friend, the surgeon.
Is Mitchell the surgeon? Is he the person behind all of this? That surgeon you mentioned, is he...
My turn. I want to know why I should trust you.
Because I could have killed you by now, but I haven't. It's my turn. That surgeon that you mentioned, is he in this photo I got here? Ow! Hey! Hey, that toss was... Huh? Both my ear and my self-esteem would hurt for days. But at least I had a new lead to follow, the surgeon. The bastard had avoided my scrutiny by passing as a hospital doctor, but now all of my senses were on guard. No matter how good the disguise or how well he hid, I would find him.
So, what you're saying is, 1, there's a corruption scandal involving all kinds of athletes. 2, our puppet master is a surgeon named Mitchell, a man who happened to fight in the war with Dunn, right?
Maybe, but it could be no more than a false lead.
Anyway, where was I? Number 3, right? 3, since Dunn was on his trail, Mitchell, or whomever, hired an anteater to get rid of him. Then, since you were also shaking the wasp's nest, he went after you. But the anteater made a mistake, and Mitchell, or whomever, killed him to cover his own tracks. And, wait, 4, the key to all this lies with a common friend of Dunn's and Mitchell's, Craig Spenow. Do you really trust him?
You should know that I don't trust anyone.
Except for your friend Weekly, that is. 5. Dunn was murdered 4 days after taking Spenow to his house. If that doesn't make him suspect...
Nah, it doesn't add up.
Why not?
Just a hunch.
Let's follow up with the suspects. You told Smirnoff that even though you're sure Yale is innocent, you think he's hiding something. But what about O'Leary? 6.
Nah, I know O'Leary, and he wouldn't have sent a hitman. He would have taken matters into his own hands.
What about Cassidy? 7, right?
Whoever planned the whole thing knew the suicide theory would fall through, so he manipulated the clues to incriminate Yale. Cassidy is too impulsive to pull off such an intricate plan.
So, even if you have your doubts, Mitchell is the one pulling the strings. And you know why? Because in novels, the murderer is always someone the detective knows from the beginning.
Well, that could be the case in British novels. You know, where everyone in the mansion where the murder took place is a suspect. But this might just be an American whodunit, where the detective doesn't even meet the culprit until the last scene.
You mean we still don't know who's pulling the strings?
I didn't say that. How did it go with Helen Moore?
I didn't get anything, even though it started out really well. I asked to interview her along with her boyfriend, Al Stone. Since I'm a big shot, they were happy to oblige. Perfect. Now, time for the interview. I'll go back and forth so you don't get bored. So, who goes first? In just 12 days, the contender will try to steal your belt. Any thoughts on your fight against Yale?
Yeah, sure.
My Al is going to kick that thug's behind. Isn't that so, honey?
Yeah, well, we'll see. No such thing as a weak rival.
Nonsense. You are and will be world champion. Next question.
What can you say about the rumors that claim you were in a relationship with Desmond O'Leary?
Oh, honey. It would be such a shame to mention that shady character in your article, wouldn't it?
Well, why?
I'm sure your newspaper would hate to fire someone as talented as you.
Oh, okay. Moving on. How did you meet?
At the party organized by Des...
Al, who threw the party doesn't matter one bit. What matters is that I saw you and you saw me. Our paths crossed and our lives were changed forever.
Okay, one more question, and...
Al, honey, can you answer it? I've got to go say hi to a fan. I'll be right back, Mr. Pulitzer.
Wait. You mean she stopped smiling when that fan showed up?
Yeah.
Could you describe him for me?
I'll be able to show you something as soon as I'm done developing these pictures. And actually, I thought it was odd, too. So while I continued to interview Stone, I managed to take some pictures of Moore and whoever her mysterious fan was.
Who's that guy?
I know he's not a fan. You should have seen her face when she saw him.
Look at his hand. Is he pulling something out of Moore's purse? Or putting it in? I think she only smokes when she's nervous. What was making her nervous? Wait. That's him.
Who?
Mitchell, the surgeon.
Seriously? Ha! We got him!
Not yet.
Right. We still have to find him.
I've seen that matchbox before.
Hey, pal. Did you hear what I just said? We need to keep looking at all those pictures. We need a clue that'll take us to Mitchell. Hey, see? There. Just like I was saying.
Brawls aren't even the worst part of my job. Sure, you may take a beating, but at least you get the chance to defend yourself. But when you're sitting in your car all night, there's no way out. Your legs cramp up, your back and neck feel stiff, your entire body aches to be somewhere else. It's boring and repetitive. People were finally leaving the place. The bar was about to close. And I hadn't seen Mitchell go in or out. I had no choice.
I see you took me up on my invitation. And you're smart. You knew not to come until my anti-fur regulars had all cleared out.
I can't say no to good advice.
Or good bourbon. Here's looking at you, Mr. What was your name?
As far as I knew, La Iguana always stayed neutral. He played poker with Cassidy, but his joint was used as the gambling drop-off for O'Leary's operation. Blackmore. John H. Blackmore.
I knew it. Although your Texan isn't half bad.
Let's just say I represent certain sports lobbies I'd rather not talk about.
I understand. My pleasure, Mr. Blackmore. You're natural. You're even better at pool than poker.
This is much easier. No one can cheat.
Ha ha. You barely flinched when Cassidy decided to teach that ego a lesson.
If Cassidy hadn't ordered his barber to kill that man, I would have done it myself. Some people just don't deserve to live. Damn it.
Well, nobody's perfect. Tell me, What do you really want with Cassidy?
The truth is, I represent certain interests which make Desmond O'Leary my enemy. If you know anything about their rivalry, I rest my case.
Don't worry about it. I was only curious. So, what about me? What do you want from me? No one comes to La Iguana just to drink and play pool.
I'm looking for one of your regulars, Dr. Angus Mitchell.
What for?
We fought together during the war. I just want to say hi.
Sure. Tell you what, I'll talk to Mitchell. Come back tomorrow night.
You don't understand. I have to talk to him, or else.
Or else what?
I don't think Cassidy would be too happy about the role his poker buddy plays in O'Leary's gambling operation. I'm sure you understand that.
Son of a bitch. Ha ha ha. All right. Give me your phone number, and I'll give you a call when Mitchell shows up.
No. You're gonna call him right now, and you're gonna give him this message. But when you're sitting in your car all night, there's no way out. Your legs cramp up, your back and neck feel stiff, your entire body aches to be somewhere else. It's boring and repetitive. It's so bad that your thoughts spiral in a never-ending loop. Like when you're stuck in your car, on surveillance duty. The owner of La Iguana was supposed to tell Mitchell that a certain anteater was still alive, and that it was only a matter of time before he ratted him out. With a bit of luck, that would make him nervous enough to force his hand. Now all I had to do was follow him. He went in without it. I wonder what's in it.
We'll be just fine, don't worry. Gil, stand guard right here. If the cat shows up, you know what to do. I'll be back in an hour.
Could I take him by surprise from over there? Although I don't know how I'd get there. particularly here? You're what's Pier 36, the 6th sea-facing warehouse coming in from Montgomery.
John? Is that you?
Meet me in an hour.
What's going on?
Bring your camera. I just gave you the scoop of your life.
Smirnoff.
Pier 36. Meet me in an hour.
Blacksad?
If you're coming from Montgomery, it's the 6th sea-facing warehouse.
What's going on?
And bring the cavalry. It could be an Ojibwa totem pole, in which case, the top animal would be a crane. Don't you even think of screaming.
I might not even talk.
You know who'll always believe in you? Your mother. My mother never lost her faith in me. And I gave her plenty of reasons when I was a kid. It all started with something as stupid as keeping the change when she sent me for groceries. Then I started stealing fruit from the street stands. And finally, I turned to pickpocketing. Somehow, my mother managed to keep me in school until I got into college. But I never gave her reasons to believe in me then either. I rarely went to class my freshman year. Obviously, I was never a sophomore. Then Pearl Harbor happened. I got drafted and sent to Europe. They told me killing was my moral duty, but I discovered it could be addictive. Not all victims were Nazis. But when I got back, I was treated like a pariah, a veteran outcast who never should have come back in the first place. And yet, my mother never ceased to...
I also fought in the war. That's where I met Mitchell. They used me, like many of my people. And then they just tossed us aside. The first time Mitchell offered me to do this, I told him to take a hike. I wanted to get my act together, but I ended up begging him. I don't like Mitchell. I don't like the things he makes me do. I don't like that German rat either. But what I like least of all is myself. I don't like what I did during the war, and I don't like what I'm doing now. Do you know what it's like to kill a friend for the sake of the mission? Huh. But my mother, she always thought I'd make amends and start anew. Maybe it's time I did just that. It's number 3.
A list of names, somehow related to chemical agents?
Subject, Brunhilde Gruner. Treatment, day 1514. The patient's ability to speak continues to diminish. Now she can only pronounce the occasional word in German. It's as if she had gone back in time, not only due to her declining cognitive function, but because she appears to have forgotten everything she learned since her arrival in America. Tissue degeneration persists, and yet, perhaps due to drastic reduction of benzylprodine dosage and an increase of anoproprion, we have observed a 3% of deceleration of said degeneration. Furthermore, and perhaps this is the best finding so far, the subject exhibits a mild recovery of her speaking function. It's not a lot, and yet we are on the right track. All hope is not lost. Subject, Craig Spano. Treatment, day 0. The subject is a veteran baseball player who has lost speed, strength, and agility due to the regular aging process. The patient refers intense pain on the right scapula, most likely caused by an old injury. Unfortunately, due to the injury's nature, surgery is not advised. The goals of our medical approach are twofold: to relieve pain caused by the prior injury so that the subject can play without symptoms, and to help the patient regain the physical condition lost in the aging process, thus allowing him to perform at elite levels. To that effect, he will receive daily administration of strong opioids along this treatment. Day 128. Treatment so far has been a success on all fronts. The patient no longer feels pain when using his right arm, circumstance that allows him to pitch without fear. Furthermore, the patient's athletic performance is not only up to par with that displayed at the height of his career, but it has even exceeded all expectations, improving the subject's precision and focus. So far, the only side effect seems to be a slight euphoria experienced 3 hours after dosage, which subsides 4 hours later, taking the patient on an emotional roller coaster of sorts with bouts of mild trembling. Treatment. Day 341. The patient's health has visibly deteriorated. Moments of euphoria and boosted physical performance have become increasingly shorter, while the ensuing periods of depression and weakness have become longer, including severe trembling and tachycardia. Although we have met all therapeutic goals, we will proceed to terminate the treatment in order to avoid causing irreparable physical and mental damage to the patient.
Mitchell is cashing in by selling drugs to enhance athletes' performances. The worst part of Mitchell's scheme isn't that it's illegal or unethical, it's that he didn't even care about compromising the athlete's health.
Going!
Hey,
You back!
it's all right. Don't be afraid, little girl. I don't want to scare you, okay?
Vita, no hurt!
Once upon a time, there was a good girl called...
Brunhilde!
Hi, my name is Brunhilde, and I'm very happy,
said Brunhilde, And then Brunhilde, who had a beautiful name.
Really beautiful.
A really beautiful name ran into someone very special.
Oh, who was it?
A very funny cat called John.
I'm a very funny cat and my name is John. Hi, John the cat. I really like funny cats. Hi, Brunhilde. Since you're so nice, I'm gonna help you get out of a cage, too.
No, he's sad.
You say silly things, John the cat. So what are you gonna help me do? Bake some delicious pies. I love pies. Which is your favorite? Wow, that's a very hard question. But John the cat, it's the easiest question in the world. Let me show you how easy it is. My favorite pie is apple. Whoa, Brunhilde. That's exactly what I was about to say.
Well. Bernd, John, Brunhilde, Freund. Do play? Ich look.
Okay.
Hi, Bernd. Why are you wearing that mask?
Weil, gas.
Well, maybe we should get out of here. What do you think, Bernd? And what about you, Brunhilde? Don't you think that?
Gil? You know you're not allowed down here. You know you're not allowed. It's...
You bastard! I should kill you right here, right now! I know you're testing drugs on that girl.
Brunhilde? No, she's my daughter. She was born with a degenerative disease, a rare condition similar to the Engelmann syndrome. There are only 4 known cases like hers, and none of the patients reach the age of 5. But I couldn't give up. I continued to research and found something. It didn't make her better, but anyway, that same treatment used on healthy subjects seems to improve their stamina and their reflexes. It also seems to improve their pain threshold. Somehow, the Reich heard about my experiments and tried to recruit me to create super soldiers. Yes, that Reich. We're talking late 30s, Berlin. I escaped with Brunhilde and came to your country. But the American military also heard about me. I spent the entire war experimenting with drugs on soldiers. Some were highly effective, I must say. When the war was over, my experiments were discarded. I was forbidden all access to the drugs, and Brunhilde got worse. But then God sent me Angus Mitchell. We had met during the war, and he came to offer me a deal. I would make drugs for athletes, and he would sell them. With my earnings, I could pay for Brunhilde's treatment.
So you're keeping Brunhilde alive, but the price is high.
A price I'm more than glad to pay. You're not a father, are you? Look, I'm not proud of what I do, but I don't have a choice.
About those pills.
Don't dwell on it, Josh. You had to tell him the truth in order to protect Brunhilde. I would have done the same thing. Finish packing up your things and stop torturing yourself, okay?
Thanks, Angus. I won't be long.
Oh, honey. You like living here? Yeah, me too. But we have to go somewhere else, and it's all that bad cat's fault. Yes, sweetie. We're going to a new home now. A prettier one, and you'll be happier there. Now go with Papa, honey. Give him a kiss. Go on. Give him a kiss. Go on. I'm sorry about this, Josh, but we gave it our best, didn't we?
Huh? What? What do you mean, Angus?
I wish it hadn't come to this.
Angus, what's wrong?
Goodbye, Josh. I hope you're happy, you son of a bitch. They were good people. I hope that made you feel better. I like it when you smile. You're so far from the truth. What the?
The mask would buy me a bit of extra time. The question was, how much? Spano just ran out that way.
Did you miss me? Who wants to see a home run? Now you're gonna see. Bring it on!
No.
Don't torture yourself. You did everything you could.
Will he make it?
The doctors think so. They found him unconscious by the basement door.
What? Could Gil have blocked the basement door from the outside to kill Mitchell?
You think? That's a serious accusation.
I'm positive. Gil told me himself. Mitchell practically forced him to work for him. And I've got reasons to believe that Gil is a bit trigger-happy. Besides, I'd say he wasn't even really unconscious when they found him. That he was just pretending.
Huh. You think Gil was involved in the previous murders?
What if it was Gil who killed his partner Randall Lee under Mitchell's orders?
Another serious accusation. Are you sure?
Yes. Everything points in that direction, including my gut.
Wait. Couldn't Mitchell be Randall Lee's murderer?
So he misses with 2 shots at point-blank range, and then he hits a guy smack in the forehead from across the street? No. Mitchell is not the sniper who wiped out Randall Lee.
Yeah, I guess you're right. But we still don't know what caused Craig Spano's death.
There's no doubt about it. Spano took drugs from the lab, and they killed him.
But if that were true, how many more athletes are in danger?
I didn't see them all, but write down these names. Peter Lowe, Xavier Chains, Helen Moore, Bill Goldman, Miles Benton, Alexander Wood, Jacob Ziegler, and yes, Bobby Yale.
Thanks. Saving lives for a change, huh? In any case, thanks for the call. I was starting to think you'd never trust the police again.
I don't trust anyone, but I had to cover my back.
Smile, Johnny boy. Thanks for the tip. This is going to win me the Pulitzer.
Get that guy out of here. All right. Let's get this over with. When the war ended, Mitchell convinced Groon to use his super soldier drugs on elite athletes. Somehow, Dunn found out about Mitchell's scheme. So when Mitchell heard that Dunn was onto him, he ordered Randall Lee to kill him and frame Yale for the murder. Then, he made Randall search Dunn's house and the gym for any incriminating evidence he might have had against him. The poor cleaning lady died almost by chance. When you stuck your nose in the case, he tried to scare you by sending his thugs to give you a beating. And when that didn't work, he asked Randall Lee to finish you off on the gym rooftop. But Randall not only failed, he got captured. So Mitchell ordered Gil to put a bullet through his head, which only made Gil upset. You kept getting closer and closer to the point of discovering his headquarters. When Mitchell realized he was cornered, he burned his bridges by setting the lab on fire, along with Dr. Grun and his daughter. Gil saw the opportunity to get back at Mitchell, so he blocked the only exit so that he would also die in the fire. Did I leave any loose ends?
Just a few. But don't worry about it. I'll take care of them now. So I guess thanks for everything. In your classic noir films and novels, solving a case never amounts to a happy ending. The detective is always left with a sense of bitterness. A feeling that, before he took the case, the world was a better place. That he was a better person.
Come on, now speed it out!
Sometimes I just let my character get the best of me.
What do you want from me?
I told Stone what I knew. That he was going to let Yale win. That if he didn't, O'Leary would destroy Helen Moore's career. And that Moore was doomed either way. Or would be, as soon as America discovered her sweetheart was on drugs.
I don't believe you. No way. Who sent you?
Today? Nobody.
And what if I did believe you? What would that change? If I don't do this for her, how could I ever look her in the eyes? How could we stay together?
You think you'll stay together when you lose your title and they accuse her of doping?
At least I know I tried.
O'Leary's world is long gone. Now TV rules the roost. Sporting scandals and rigged fights can only reduce their credibility, not to mention their ratings. If you take a dive and word gets out, you lose much more than just a fight.
Is it all about being professional to you?
Suit yourself. But trust me, your manager is a murderer. Get as far away from him as possible.
Hey, Blacksad! I'll think about it.
Yale confirmed to me that Dunn found out that Mitchell was giving him meds. That was the reason they argued the evening of his death.
In fact, I was clean at the time. Hadn't used for days. I didn't want to go down that road. I wanted to follow Joe.
But he discovered everything.
He didn't believe me when I said I had nothing to do with it.
But you used again.
Only after his death. I needed to cope.
But the drugs gave you a panic attack.
Yeah. But I've been clean ever since.
Mitchell gave you the pills when he stopped by the hospital. Hence, your miraculous recovery. But they'll be your last pills. Then what? Stone and Yale hadn't taken away the bitterness I felt. I needed a friend. In appreciation for the tip I'd given him, he insisted on buying me a milkshake that he drank. After the perfect storm of corruption and murder, only friendship could reconcile me with the world. Only that could make me believe in mankind again. Only that could cleanse my soul. Only that. And money. In your standard noir novel, Yale and Stone would be punished for breaking the rules. There would be justice for Sonia, the victim. But this was the real world. As the detective who had cracked the case, I just had to get my paycheck and be on my way.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Blacksad. Mr. Thorpe is on his way.
I guess I'll just have to wait.
He'll be here in a minute. Please take a seat.
No, that's not possible. But what if Tim Thorpe was somehow involved in Mitchell's operation?
Mr. Blacksad? Mr. Thorpe is running later than expected, but he insists on meeting you, if you don't mind.
Sure, as long as you help me fight off this boredom.
That's not in my job description, but...
If my hunch is right, there should be a meeting with Mitchell noted somewhere in Thorpe's agenda. Well, you see, I've got a problem. In order to figure out how much Mr. Thorpe owes me, I need to know what day I started working on the case. But I can't remember. You wouldn't have that written down, would you?
It sure wasn't on my shift. I'd remember. Let me see.
What? Dunn was here 2 days before he died? Why didn't Thorpe ever mention that?
I'm sorry, but your name's not on here.
Wait, I just remembered something. The day I came, Joe Dunn had just walked out the door.
Well, no. You don't have any appointments. Although, I guess I could have forgotten to write you in. Mr. Dunn, who's usually very kind, left in a flurry. He even slammed Mr. Thorpe's door.
Okay. Now I know I have to get into Thorpe's office.
And he didn't even say goodbye.
Yes, that was the day. You don't recall me because the minute I saw Dunn stomp out, I followed him. I never actually came in.
Of course. That explains it.
No doubt. So, since it looks like Mr. Thorpe won't be here soon, I think I'll go take a walk down the hall. Gotta stay in shape. It's a bit strange to see no office chair behind a desk, until you remember the desk's owner is in a wheelchair. And one of the strengths, the accuracy of his throw. I earned the nickname Iron Arm. I used to throw the ball in 50 miles. And yeah, wherever it wanted. And my coach, the great Joffrey Sox. And so I worked hard. Pearl Harbor. I enlisted immediately. After losing a partner in combat, a serious injury, I asked to be relocated. I became a sniper. I know I shouldn't say this, but I was one of the best in the Army, and it was all thanks to my accuracy. No, it was all thanks to Jeffrey Sachs. I wonder how many Americans that man saved with my arm. After these words, Tim Thorpe is moved almost to tears and asks me to take a break. It's shocking to see how an athlete and soldier, a man whose aim and skill won him a Medal of Honor and the nickname Surgeon among his brothers in arms. That can't be. I mean, it could be a coincidence, but no. Oh, crap. Of course. Of course. It wasn't Mitchell or Gill. It was Thorpe who shot Randall at the hospital. That's it. Thorpe is the man behind the whole drug operation. Everything adds up now. And yet I can already hear Smirnoff telling me I have no conclusive evidence. What if I set a trap for Thorpe? But how? Ha! What if I place Thorpe's gun up there and corner him so that he has to stand up to get it? The show was about to begin. All I needed was an audience and some patience.
Stop it!
Arr! Don't you know who you're dealing with, matey?
What a silly man.
Mutiny! You wants to be shark bait, do ya? Oh, Blacksad. I feel terrible for keeping you waiting.
John.
But you see, there was mutiny on board, so...
Stop!
You see what I have to put up with. All right, helmswoman, to the cabin with you! Onward!
Aye, aye, Captain.
Come along, Blacksad. Julie, don't let anyone bother us. Honey, will you wait in the boardroom for me, please?
But...
I'll just be a minute, then. I think you've already suffered enough.
Okay.
And think about where you'd like to have dinner tonight, okay? Two days ago, she wanted to end it all. Drop out of college, sell the gym. Too many wounds to heal. But through your incredible work, you managed to heal them. Well, perhaps not completely. It takes time to get over something like this. But at least, thanks to you, Sonia wants to be happy. She has hope. I'm going to help her make Dunn's gym the best in the city.
In the end, it seems like Dunn's death was the best thing that could have happened to the gym, huh?
Don't be so cynical. By God, can't you stop playing the hard-boiled detective for 1 second? Anyway, back to the case. All those people you confronted. Gill, the German doctor, even Mitchell. Huh. I would have never suspected him.
They did mention a certain surgeon.
Surgeon?
I'm sure this comes as no surprise, but it was Angus Mitchell himself. In fact, you gave me the lead by telling me he was a doctor.
Sure. Yeah, sure. I'm glad I could help. Although, you see, besides my esteem for Joe and Sonia, this ordeal, really hits close to home. Sports are my livelihood. Do you know how many of the athletes involved have a deal with me?
How do you know that?
What?
Oh, wait. Sonia told you.
Yes, that's it. Sonia told me.
That's funny. I never told Sonia. All of them?
Luckily, no. But a lot. So far, the papers only talk about bodies down at the docks and an illegal lab. Not one has mentioned the athletes. But if one word gets out, this agency's future could be on the line. Not to mention Sonia's and the gym's.
I wasn't completely honest with you before. I know you're the surgeon. A journalist told me. Ring a bell?
I'm sure you've got good intentions, but you're wrong.
Don't deny it. I know Mitchell gave them to you.
People see a wheelchair and think, poor guy, he can't walk. But there's so much more to it than that. Some nights I can't even sleep from the pain.
That doesn't explain why you didn't tell me you knew about those drugs. I know that you are a highly skilled sniper, and I think it was you who shot Randall Lee at the hospital.
Have you seen me, Blacksad? How could I possibly do that? I hired you to solve this damn case. You think that's what a murderer would do?
Only because you thought I'd blame Bobby Yale and drop the case. But as soon as I realized something wasn't right, you sent Randall Lee and Gil to give me a scare. And when all that failed, you ordered Lee to kill me.
You're the type that won't open his jaws once he's got his prey, aren't you?
Depends on the prey.
Put yourself in my place for a minute. You're a promising football player who just got back from the war, but you're still a nobody. The man you saved kindly opens his house to you, and that man is still undone by his wife's passing. He works all day at his gym, and he drinks himself to sleep at night. So you practically end up raising his daughter. You give her her very first abacus. You encourage her to further her education. You comfort her when she misses her mother and her father. Meanwhile, your sporting career takes off. Life is good. Until one day, out of the blue, an accident cripples you. An old friend, Mitchell, tells you he knows someone who can help you. A German doctor. His drugs take some time to work, but they do wonders. You manage to walk for short bursts at a time, little by little. And those bursts keep getting longer. But the drugs aren't cheap at all. So you have to find a way to pay for them, don't you see?
So you started by selling drugs to athletes. Then you decided to start an advertising agency to hire those same athletes. Drugs would help them excel, and you'd get better ad deals. The perfect business model. Your first client? Craig Spano. You decided to help him, to reboot his career. And yet, when the drugs started having serious side effects, you got rid of him. Afraid he would talk, you tried to kill him. That's why he hid. From then on, your business was smooth sailing. You even began to think you were above the law. You thought that you were untouchable. Until Joe Dunn found out, and then, 2 days before his unfortunate death, he came to see you.
That's enough now! You stop it! Now, I don't know if I'm above the law, but I am sure as hell not beneath it. Do you know how much power I have? The kind of people I eat with every day? I could shoot you right now, and nothing would happen to me.
With that gun you keep in your drawer? I'm afraid not. I placed your pistol out of reach, just in case you happen to confirm my suspicions, Iron Arm. And now, if you'll excuse me, I have an appointment with the police.
I won't let anyone wreck my life again. Sonia and I, we deserve a future.
You can come in now, Smirnoff.
Timothy Wilson Thorpe, drop your weapon. You're under arrest. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, the state will provide one for you. Mr. Thorpe. Sonia Dunn, you are under arrest for the death of Timothy Wilson Thorpe. You have the right to remain silent in a court of law.
Just shut up. Sonia should never set foot in jail.
Blacksad, don't.
You and I have done similar deeds. You remember, right? If you're gonna arrest her, arrest me first, and then arrest yourself.
No, there's no way this could work. How do we hide this?
I'll put the bullets back in the gun. Thorpe had me at gunpoint, but I was faster. We're doing the right thing, Chief.
John, why do I end up getting my hands dirty every time I'm close to you?
After everything that had happened, the last thing I was interested in was the fight. Did Yale take drugs before the fight? Did Stone let him win? I had done everything in my power for things to go the way my moral compass dictated. Whether anyone would listen to me, that was another story. Because no matter what they tell us, our actions don't always determine our future. My moral compass. As if I even knew what that means. I didn't even know what to think of my performance throughout the case. Did I have a clear conscience? Would I have made the same decisions, given the chance?